He likely won't endorse a Democratic candidate in the state's 2026 gubernatorial race.
I tend to try to avoid that, so no, I'll never say never, but I want to make sure who the rest of the candidates are before I even make that decision.
Governor Evers confirmed Thursday he would not seek a third term in office. Lieutenant Governor Sarah Rodriguez is the only confirmed Democratic candidate in the field. Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley has said he plans to begin his campaign in the weeks ahead.
Scaling back the search effort for Travis Decker in the Pacific Northwest. With fewer leads in the 32-year-old Pewaukee native's location, officials have reduced the area they're searching. Decker is wanted for 3 counts of first-degree murder and kidnapping in the deaths of his 3 young daughters in early June. Their bodies were found in a campground outside of Leavenworth, Washington. Authorities say there is insufficient information to suggest that he's alive or dead.
Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow is down 24 points, sitting at 44,877. S&P up just about a point at 6,390. And the NASDAQ up 51 points, sitting at 21,159. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 12:05. News sponsored by Ellie Mental Health. Visit elliementalhealth.com. Here's your Mental Health Minute.
The Mental Health Minute.
Have you recently been told the wait time to see a therapist is 6 to 9 months? Well, we think that's ridiculous, which is why you won't hear that from our team. I'm Dawn from Ellie Mental Health in Waukesha. At our clinic, there's no wait list. Large hospital systems often leave patients stuck in limbo for months, but we get you connected with a qualified therapist quickly because your mental health shouldn't be on hold. Unlike online platforms that match you with whoever is available, limiting you to chats or short video calls, Ellie Mental Health offers personalized face-to-face care with licensed therapists who build genuine relationships. Our therapists take time to understand your goals, your challenges, and what actually works for you. You deserve real therapy without the wait and compromises. We're here for you at Ellie Mental Health. Let us help you find a therapist you can vibe with and take the first step on your path to improved mental health.
This has been the Mental Health Minute. Get started on your mental health journey today at elliementalhealth.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. A needed win by the Brewers as they took the series finale against the Marlins 3-2.
Fly ball center field. That is going to do it and then some. Perkins walks it off against the Marlins.
Jeff Levering's call. Blake Perkins wasn't even starting the game on Sunday as the Brewers salvaged the finale 3-2. His manager, Pat Murphy.
It was emotional for me to see Perk come through right there. I mean, that was huge.
And for Perkins, after missing the first 3.5 months of the year,
you know, these moments, like, I don't ever really feel like it's going to be me in the spot. To come through, man, that's like, it's such an incredible feeling. It's just special, man. It's you're right. It's been a long year, and this is pretty cool.
From American Family Field, I'm Dominic Cotroneo.
And the Crew starting a 3-game series with the Cubs tonight at American Family Field. Our coverage starting at 6:05 right here on WTMJ.
Let's check out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We do have our typical construction delays on 41 right now. Today, it looks like it starts a little bit after Good Hope Road, so we'll take what we can get. It is slow from Good Hope Road all the way down to Hampton, and then it clears up for just a tiny, tiny bit picks back up and slows down again. It's a little slowing as well over by Curry Dog Park. Also, headed the other way on 41 before you get to Mayfair. There's some significant slowing right there, but it doesn't last long. Handful of disabled vehicles out of the system as well. Most of them are not causing any problems. I do want to let you know about this one because it's in a busy spot, and this one just popped up. It's a broken down vehicle on the exit to Highway 100 from I-94 East.
Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Heat advisory in effect for southeast Wisconsin until 8 o'clock this evening. Sunny, hot, humid. We'll see a high around 90 this afternoon, but heat index values between 100 and 105. Tonight, chances for showers and storms, cloudy and humid, low of 72. Tuesday, we could see some showers and storms early, mostly cloudy, high of 87. Wednesday, slight chance for some rain, cooler as well, high of 76. Thursday, sunny, breezy with a high of 77, and then mostly sunny Friday with a high around 77. In Milwaukee right now, it's 83 degrees. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 12:09.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Tighe, and in for Greg Matzik, it's Neil Doyle.
Happy Monday, everybody. I hope you had a fabulous weekend. Welcome in, WTMJ reporter Neil Doyle. We're happy to have you, Neil.
Hey, I'm glad to be here. Happy Monday.
This is the first time of Wisconsin's Midday News, and we're making a good one for you.
Yeah, I'm excited. Should be a fun show.
We've got a packed show today, including why are some sellers yanking their homes off the market right now? It is happening across the country and here in Milwaukee. We're going to chat about it. Also, could surge pricing come to your grocery store? Some people are saying, oh, please, no. We'll chat about it.
It's now at noon on Wisconsin's Midday News.
A heat advisory is now in effect for all of southern Wisconsin. Started just minutes ago at noon and goes until 8 o'clock tonight. Between the heat and humidity, it's going to feel like it's 100 degrees outside. And in some of our cities, it's going to feel even hotter, more like 104 degrees. And it's not just us here in Wisconsin dealing with the brutal heat and high humidity. It is much of the nation.
Nearly 190 million Americans, more than half of the nation's population, are under heat alerts today. Scott Martyr is with the American Red Cross in Baltimore.
Extreme heat kills more people in the United States than any other natural disaster. Obviously, staying in air conditioning helps. But if you don't have air conditioning, go to a shopping mall or a library or a cooling center.
Tampa, Florida hit 100 degrees Sunday for the first time since they started keeping weather records there more than 130 years ago. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
I was really surprised to hear that. In fact, I even did a double check. I'm like, I gotta look at that. Was it 100 just on this day in history? No, it's 100 period. I just think Florida, and I would have guessed that Tampa had already hit 100 in the past, but it's because of where it is on the bay. And yeah, so bottom line for us here, stay cool, stay hydrated, check on your friends and family, and don't forget about those pets. We're going to see a much cooler and less humid period of weather later this week.
Number 2, Scott Walker not entering Wisconsin's gubernatorial race next year. The former Republican governor making that announcement yesterday on his X account.
I'm going to continue my work as president of Young America's Foundation. So, as I mentioned, I'm not going to be a candidate, at least not next year. That doesn't mean I'll never run again. In fact, I'm actually a quarter century younger than Joe Biden. That means I've got plenty of time, and I don't need an auto pen.
Walker, of course, served as the 45th governor of Wisconsin from 2011 to 2019. But again, not entering the race coming up next year. And this is the first time since 2010 that Wisconsin's governor's race is going to be open. No incumbent running. Of course, Governor Tony Evers announcing last week he will not be seeking a third term. We've seen several candidates on both sides of the aisle already enter the race, and we're certainly expecting some others to be entering the race as well over the coming weeks.
This is one of those unique times when something that is not news turns out to be news.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Well, and
Walker
he was
not running.
Yeah, he was
so
certainly
it's really not news, but it's news.
Thrown in there that maybe he would consider, but, putting that to bed yesterday with that announcement.
And there were some people who wanted him to, but now we know he will not. A popular app hacked. Hackers have targeted a resource intended to help women spot danger in the dating world.
In the age of online dating,
you're a little worried about going out with a complete and total stranger.
Relationship specialist Anna Morgenstern says some men have criminal or marital records they don't share with their dates.
Using a site like Tighe to search their name to see if there's anything been written up about them could be very powerful.
Now, Tighe acknowledges that it's been hacked and that data of women who signed up before February of 2024 was stolen and posted publicly online. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
This app has just exploded in popularity. In fact, Tighe is the number 2 app in the Apple App Store today. Jim will join us in our next hour to explain what exactly was stolen and what the app company plans to do about the hack. It is now 12:14. Up next, with a wide open Wisconsin governor's race in 2026, what does that mean for our state economy?
Cheese doodles, Mr. Nougat Bar. Oh, here we go. 4-door hatchback.
Some things are fine to buy from a vending machine, but a car's not one of them. That national online company makes it seem convenient, but it won't be so convenient if you have a problem with the vehicle you buy. And if it's after 7 days, good luck. Adam member dealers also let you search online, plus test drive the vehicle before you buy it. And they're right here to handle any issues.
But the car's stuck. No!
Start your search at adamm.com.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
Sweet Talks is a woman-owned medical spa in Menominee Falls, fostering self-love and confidence. Our expert registered nurse injectors go beyond injectables, offering lasers, medical weight loss, hormone therapy, and more. Join thousands of satisfied patients at sweettalks.com.
Progressive Insurance, with insurance for cars, home, boat, motorcycles, RVs, and commercial vehicles at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and progressive.com.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
Healthy joints, healthy lifestyle. Vince Vetrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Arthritis, injuries, wear and tear, common joint issues that keep you from doing what you love. At OAW, a visit to the doctor doesn't always mean surgery. Everyone is different. Surgeons, nurses, physical therapists work together to come up with a plan for you. Maybe it's PT, medication, injection, and if you do need surgery like I did, you know you're in the best of hands. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. Book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
Spotlight. Tim Sheehy, Senior Advisor to the MMAC, joins us. Are you staying cool, Tim?
Yes, Jessica, no problem.
Okay, that's good because we're all just trying right now. And I wasn't sure since you're joining us on the phone. I said, for all I know, you could be staying cool in Anchorage or you may be somewhere else where it's not so hot, but it is hot here today.
Yeah, no, I'm hot, but not the humidity. I'm in Idaho, so it's not nearly as humid as you all have it.
There you go. Okay. Well, hey, we got the big announcement from Governor Tony Evers last week that he is not seeking a third term. Evers not running for re-election. So now you have a wide open Wisconsin governor's race in 2026. What does that mean for Wisconsin's economy?
Yeah, it's a good question, and it's a fairly unusual circumstance. A little perspective, Wisconsin's been electing governors since 1848. So the next governor will be our 45th. Just out of trivia, our first governor was Nelson Dewey. Our longest serving governor was Tommy Thompson. He's probably our best known. He served for 14 years. And our shortest serving governor, which I had never heard of, is Arthur MacArthur. He served for 5 days in 1856.
Wow. 5 days? What happened there? I need to know more, Tim.
It's a good trivia question. I don't know. Somebody will have to ChatGPT that. But I've worked with 7 governors over my career, and they're important to Wisconsin's economy. They are the political leader of the state. They're responsible for introducing the budget. They have one of the strongest vetoes in the country. And if you really think about it, we want a leader that gets up every day and thinks about how Wisconsin best competes for jobs and capital investment.
It's pretty unusual as well, Tim. We haven't seen this in a while, but I believe it was 2010 the last time we've had an open race, no incumbent running. So, I mean, as you mentioned, the governor obviously important to the state's economy, but we're going to have some kind of newer faces running for a very important position of office.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I think it was actually Governor Doyle who declined to run for another term, and there are no term limits in Wisconsin. So that's the last time, I think it was 2011, the last time we've had an open race. On the Democratic side, obviously Lieutenant Governor Sarah Rodriguez has announced. It certainly looks like Milwaukee County Executive Dave Crowley will announce. Other candidates include the Attorney General Josh Kaul and I suppose the Secretary of State Sarah Godlewski. On the Republican side, you have Washington County Exec Josh Schulman and businessman and former Navy SEAL Bill Berrien, and others are likely to get into the Republican race too. So it'll be interesting, it'll be wide open, and it's important.
We're talking with Tim Sheehy for our weekly economic spotlight. Tim, we now have a new deal with the European Union on tariffs, the U.S.'s largest trading partner. Is this good news for the economy?
You know what, it is and it isn't. If you think about tariffs, they're what countries charge on goods and services that are imported into their country. And everybody tries to get a level playing field, which means you pay the same as I do going into your country as you do coming into mine. But other countries have tariffs and they have rules and regulations that upset, that even playing field. And so what happened recently is that the EU and the United States agreed on a 15% tariff. In other words, there'll be a 15% tariff on most goods coming into the U.S. And it's important because the EU and the U.S. are each other's largest trading bloc. I think about $5 billion a day in trade goes on between, the two entities. So it's important, and it's good news from the perspective that businesses now know what the playing field looks like going forward. And there are some exemptions. Aircraft parts, agriculture, semiconductors, those things are exempt from the tariff. And I assume as negotiations continue, you'll see other products that try to exempt themselves from that tariff.
Tim, we've seen more employers kind of signaling as well, job reductions, staffing cuts. Is any of this to blame? Can we blame this on AI at all?
Yeah, I think you can. It's a double-edged sword. It is causing companies to pause on their headcount and in some cases reduce their headcount. One example, Bank of America over the last decade has reduced their headcount by almost 90,000 people. And so it is having a significant impact, but it's also helping generate new jobs and helping companies start up. Maybe two quick practical examples. So I sit on 4 different corporate boards. One example in a transportation industry is a large volume of calls come in and we can't answer all the calls. So now we have an AI bot. She sounds entirely human. She can carry on a conversation. She can take in the information. She can make a quote a price on a load. And it's like you're talking to another human being. You would not know if you called in. And maybe a second example in the legal field, there's a AI software called Harvey. And it will take 2 different contracts and identify where the similarities are and where the differences are and warn you about challenges that you have. So you have that tool and you don't need extra legal help to do that kind of work. So those are real life examples where they're making companies more efficient. They're maybe reducing headcount, but they're also creating more opportunities as companies come up with different kinds of software to sell companies using artificial intelligence.
What does this ultimately mean for job seekers, though? People looking for a job right now because they hear you saying, here's how some of these companies I know are using these AI bots, and it's working. It's working well. That makes people nervous.
Yeah, it does. It puts an exclamation point on the need to be a lifelong learner because AI can catch you, but you can also stay ahead of AI, and AI isn't going to do everything. The other important thing to know for job seekers is the demographics are declining. There are fewer people entering the workforce, more people retiring. So even with the advent of AI, there are going to be a lot of job openings, and I still think it's going to be a target-rich environment for job seekers.
That's our weekly economic spotlight. Tim Sheehy, thanks so much.
You're welcome.
We'll talk next week. I was just saying, I wonder if all the people listening out there right now, how many people are using AI? Because more and more people are. I really haven't used it that much, but I would like to. I would like to take a little class that in about 3 minutes can tell me the best ways that I could use it in my work world. I think the journalist in me is a little leery about it. I know there are some younger people who use it quite a bit and to even write stories. And that's just, maybe if you can get an outline, but I would be triple checking that sucker.
I mean,
every day.
It's a tool a lot of people are using. My mom uses it a lot for her job to put posts out on social media. It's like, you know this better than I. So yeah, I haven't dove into it a whole lot, but it continues to get even more aggressive. It seems like the AI workplace.
It's here. It's the future. Time right now is 12:24. Coming up next, it's your local news and top national headlines.
Here's the secret no one's telling you about those trendy weight loss shots. Many people gain the weight back after stopping, but there's a better way. Using the Milwaukee Weight Loss proprietary natural-based program, we've helped thousands of people not just lose weight, but keep it off long-term. You can lose up to 10 to 20% of your body weight in just 8 weeks while protecting your muscle mass. No side effects, no rebounds. Ready to transform your body for life? You can do this. Schedule your free consultation today at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Steve Scafidi. I dropped 40 pounds with Milwaukee Weight Loss. No crazy workouts, no meal kits or shakes, and definitely no meds or injections. They helped reset my metabolism, and the weights actually stayed off. It's been a game changer for me. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two. Schedule your free consultation today by calling 262-393-2334. One more time, 262-393-2334. Or online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
The open road is calling, and the ride begins at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. This July, you could burn rubber on a custom Harley-Davidson in the Fire Up Your Fantasy motorcycle giveaway. Play with your rewards card all July for entries. Thursday drawings for extra cash and reward play. Fire up your fantasy. Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Bring every detail of your world into clear focus with personalized eye care at Shopko Optical. Vince Vetrano here. The experienced and caring team of eye care professionals at Shopko provide comprehensive eye exams tailored to your unique vision needs. Need glasses, contacts, both? From expert care to the perfect prescription eyewear for your lifestyle. Get everything in one convenient visit. Call Shopko Optical or visit shopko.com to schedule your exam. Shopko Optical. Partners in your eye care.
We were just talking about AI at work and how things can go wrong. So this next story makes me wonder, was there an AI bot involved in this? The search is on right now in and around New Orleans after an inmate was mistakenly released from prison. An inmate mistakenly released. Khalil Bryan was accused of assault and burglary, and authorities say a clerical error related to his last name led guards to release him on Friday. ABC's Alex Prescia has more.
This is the same jail that 10 inmates escaped from back in May. One of those individuals, Derek Groves, is still on the run. At the time of Bryan's mistaken release, he was being held on a $100,000 bench warrant and an additional $25,000 bond linked to new felony charges. The sheriff says her office is in the process of reaching out to all the victims and witnesses involved in Bryan's prosecution.
Whoops.
Yeah, a bit of a mistake.
That's a big one. And then when you hear, not only did they allow this to happen on Friday, that they let this person out who they shouldn't have let out due to a clerical error, but it's the same jail that 10 inmates escaped from back in May. I think we need a new leader there.
Yeah, there's, I'm sure, some angry people about what's going on.
Ooh, something is not going right down there. 12:27.
And now, about your house. Eric Brown is the president of Siding Unlimited, your contractor for new windows, roofing, siding, decks, and a whole lot more. He knows about your house. So what do you know, Eric?
Recently, Siding Unlimited installed new windows in a home, and the homeowner loved the experience. Linda W. said, "I was extremely satisfied with the service that was provided by Siding Unlimited. I had a new roof and new windows installed in my house." Linda loved that she chose the right company for peace of mind. She also loved the colors. Larry, another Siding Unlimited customer, was thrilled with the experience. Larry's home looks brand new. Go to our Siding Unlimited Instagram page and see our pinned message to listen to Larry's testimonial, but also see his house. Again, Siding Unlimited, knocking it out of the park. Looking for new windows, siding, roofing, and doors? Visit the 5-time Pella Platinum Premier National Window Contractor of the Year winner at sidingunlimited.com. Definitely listen to Larry on Instagram at Siding Unlimited LLC.
Eric and his crews at Siding Unlimited are your go-to contractor here for roofing and also replacement windows, decks, and of course siding. They've done it all at the Matzik households over the years. It started with windows, transforming our 1953 Milwaukee home into something beautiful. And then, on our new house, brand new LP Smart Side siding. Built 8 years ago, our house still looks brand new. Make sure to connect with Eric about patio projects as well. They've expanded our outdoor living space to an area fit with a beautiful cedar pergola, paver patio, gas fire pit, and more. The best in lighting? I can control it from my phone. All there at Siding Unlimited. Truly siding and a whole lot more. Take the next step and check them out at sidingunlimited.com. Siding Unlimited. Truly siding and a whole lot more.
It is just about 12:30. I'm Jessica Tighe. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Monday, July 28th. Your top story? Not joining the race for governor.
I'm Neil Doyle in for Greg Matzik, inking the first NIL deal in Wisconsin.
A heat advisory is in effect until 8 o'clock tonight. It is another hot and a very humid day. Prepare for that as you step outside. We have a high of 90 degrees today, but the humidity is going to make it feel much worse. Tonight, there is a chance for rain and storms, mostly cloudy and humid otherwise. We'll dip down to 72 for the low.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. President Trump's trip to Scotland has not stopped questions about the Jeffrey Epstein files, and that topic was also hanging over Vice President J.D. Vance's appearance in Ohio, where he was touting the Republican tax bill, but said,
Donald J. Trump, I'm telling you, he's got nothing to hide. His administration has got nothing to hide.
Top Senate Democrats today asked the Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche to commit to not pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's longtime companion who's serving 20 years for trafficking teenage girls, and met with Blanche twice last week. In Scotland, the president disagreed with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's statement that there's no starvation in Gaza. President Trump said more countries are stepping up to allow food into Gaza. Police in Reno, Nevada say there were multiple injuries after a police-involved shooting in the valet area outside of a casino this morning. So far, no word on the conditions of any victims. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 12:31. Decision, Wisconsin. Former Republican Governor Scott Walker will not run for governor in 2026.
Walker made the announcement Sunday on his X account.
It doesn't mean I'll never run again. In fact, I'm actually a quarter century younger than Joe Biden. That means I've got plenty of time, and I don't need an auto pen.
Republicans in the race so far include Milwaukee area businessman Bill Berrien and Washington County Executive Josh Schoeman. Lieutenant Governor Sarah Rodriguez was the first Democrat to enter the race. A second Democrat, Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley, said in a statement that in the weeks ahead, he'll be taking steps toward entering the race. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
Governor Tony Evers announced last week he is not seeking a third term.
Multiple people are recovering after a boat explosion in Pierce County. It happened on Saturday near Prescott in the northwestern part of the state. After the boat's operator tried to start the engine twice, it exploded on the third try. 11 passengers were ejected into the Mississippi River. The boat then drifted into a second boat and caused fire to spread before being extinguished. 8 people were treated for injuries. The incident remains under investigation.
A Wisconsin high school freshman is the state's first young athlete to ink a name, image, likeness deal, an NIL deal. Darcy Doyle is a standout lacrosse player at the University School in Milwaukee. Doyle is committed to Northwestern University and will promote legal education for young adults through social media. Any NIL deal must strictly follow WIAA rules or athletes risk losing eligibility.
Scammers are trying to steal information by telling people they need a new Medicare card. DATCAP consumer expert Michelle Reinen tells WTMJ.
Be aware that real government agencies will not contact consumers by phone to change their Medicare card. Real Medicare cards only need to be replaced if they're lost, damaged, or compromised by a scammer. And so beneficiaries and their assistants should never provide their Medicare number, Social Security number, or other private information to a cold caller.
Reinen says imposters are claiming to be from the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services and the Wisconsin Department of Administration.
High heat and humidity is back in southeastern Wisconsin again. TMJ4 meteorologist Brendan Johnson says the heat is not the only thing he's tracking.
We do have a couple of scattered showers, a few rumbles of thunder really affecting southwestern Wisconsin. A little bit of that activity may make its way in to some of our western communities, but we're expecting quick clearing as we roll into the afternoon, which means high temperatures climbing quickly into the 90s with heat index values making their way into the upper 90s and perhaps surpassing 100 degrees.
Woo! Your complete WTMJ 5-day forecast is coming up in just minutes.
Sports, traffic, weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 12:34.
Now that you're ready to purchase a new bike, do yourself a solid by stopping by one of our Wheel and Sprocket stores to test ride an electric bike, better known today as an e-bike. And let me tell you, these bikes are a game changer because you can ride a whole lot further without even breaking a sweat. We're talking 20 to 50 miles on a single charge. So even riding uphill comes with tons of thrills. But before you decide, stop by any of our Wheel and Sprocket locations first and let us explain in detail what e-bikes are all about. And once you're here, you'll find rows and rows of bikes in a bunch of different styles and colors for you to see, touch, feel, and even test ride. After all, here at Wheel and Sprocket, we love bikes, which is why bikes are all we do.
Visit wheelandsprocket.com for a location near you.
I'm Amelia Kegel with Wheel and Sprocket. Life is short. Enjoy your ride.
Bank 5-9 has a mission to make lives better. They make it a priority to give back to their customers, communities, and their employees. In fact, Bank 5-9 was just honored again by the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel as a top workplace. That makes 16 years in a row. Want to learn more about working with the great people at Bank 5-9? Visit bank59.com/careers. Equal Opportunity Employer, member FDIC.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the pod, Marcus and his son Chris talk to Hall of Fame NBA writer Mark Stein. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All sports desk. Former Milwaukee Brewer and Cy Young Award winner CC Sabathia inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Thank you to the baseball writers. Thank you to the fans out there. And thank you most of all to the great players sitting behind me. I am so proud and humbled to join you as a Hall of Famer. Even Ichiro, who stole my Rookie of the Year award in 2001.
Sabathia played 19 years in the big leagues, including with the Brewers in 2008. Joining Sabathia in the 2025 Hall of Fame class, Ichiro Suzuki, Billy Wagner, Dave Parker, and Dick Allen. And the Brewers welcoming in the Chicago Cubs to American Family Field for a 3-game set. Our coverage tonight starting at 6:05 here on WTMJ.
Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We're doing pretty good. Yes, we do have the delays on 41 due to the construction, which is typical. That's normal. No crashes, though, so that's good news. A few disabled vehicles out of the system. including this one, I-43 North, just a little bit beyond the ramp from Wisconsin 60. Right shoulder is blocked there due to a car that's broken down. And just a little bit up from that, we do have some delays. It looks like from about Riverside Drive past Sauk Road, it's very slow. But then it clears up before you get to Eulaw Road.
Here's the WTMJ 5-day forecast. Heat advisory in effect until 8 o'clock tonight. We'll see sunny skies, hot, humid conditions this afternoon. High of 90, but heat index values between 100 and 105. Tonight, shower storm chances will be cloudy and humid, low of 72. Tomorrow, we could see some showers and storms early, otherwise mostly cloudy, still warm, high of 87. Wednesday, slight chance for showers and storms, cooler with a high of 76. Thursday, sunny, breezy, high of 77. And then Friday, mostly sunny with highs in the mid-70s. Right now, 86 degrees in Milwaukee.
Our house in the middle of our street. Our house in the middle of our...
A recent headline in Fortune magazine grabbed my attention. It said sellers are yanking houses off the market rather than stomach further price cuts. I had a feeling that was happening here in southeastern Wisconsin from what I've witnessed recently, so I reached out to Chris Corley with Corley Real Estate to confirm. Welcome to the studio, Chris.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
So is this happening here in Milwaukee? Are people just taking homes off the market because they are fed up with price cuts? What are you seeing?
Definitely taking them off the market or exploring the rental options to see if that's a possibility without having to take a further price cut. Usually right now they're going to hold on to it for a little bit longer to see if that spring, summer season can hold on, but very quickly you'll start seeing a lot come off the market.
So what is going on here? What's the cause?
Well, I think there's several different factors. A simple aspect is going to be higher interest rates. And then there's just a kind of a compounding effect of, we'll just say market uncertainty. Earlier this year, the beginning of the year, I was very optimistic, very bullish. And then as kind of April 1st, the tariff talk started, definitely saw a change in buyers, where they're a lot more in tune to prices, looking at what people paid for it in the past and trying to get a deal. Certain properties, certain neighborhoods definitely are going to see multiple offers still and, kind of higher demand, but on a much lower price point. Than your $1 million plus.
And with, you said, buyers kind of being more inclined, is part of it too with buyers, or are they a little bit stretched thin? And even things like repairs and things like that, they don't want to pay for that. And that's why they're kind of steering away. Sure.
There's definitely aspects of that. I mean, things that are updated and maintained properly are going to sell a lot better. Just with a higher interest rate, just takes away people's buying power, takes away their extra cash they have on hand. So to the repair aspect and to maintenance or updates, it just really restricts people. So they want to buy things that are updated, but then they also don't want to pay a premium for it anymore.
Are there still some sellers who expect pandemic era price levels?
Absolutely, definitely. And there's one of the things I hear a lot from sellers are for the last year, 2 years, 3 years, I've received letter after letter from realtors going, just give me a chance. I'll sell your place right away. I got buyers under the door. And now they go, okay, I put it on the market. And a week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months go by. And they go, why hasn't this sold? They had very different expectations going into it.
And it seems like, too, I mean, the fact is you've got mortgage rates that are still so high. And then in some cases, like Milwaukee County, where I live, the taxes are so high, property taxes are so high. So at the end of the day, that all adds up.
Absolutely. And, I specialize kind of in the condo market. And in Milwaukee especially, there's nothing been built new in almost 15 years, 16 years. So buildings are getting older. Maintenance costs are going up. You're going to start seeing special assessments for repairs. So there's just a whole compound of issues. And then in my world a little bit, there's, 1,000 plus new apartments in town, that are giving incentives and deals to get people in the door, where a lot of sellers, back to your original comment, is they don't want to lower the price.
And speaking of those apartments, I mean, wow, some of these places, what are you seeing? I know you've heard, you've actually had people who have moved out, some older people who you wouldn't think would want to go into an apartment who are now deciding to sell their homes for various reasons and are going into apartments. And they're really wowed by some of these places in the Milwaukee area.
Absolutely, definitely. There's the level of amenities is unprecedented in Milwaukee historically, from just pools, golf simulators, indoor bars, social networking rooms. There's just a whole plethora of different amenities that are now offered.
Those dog parks?
Dog parks, dog walks, rooftop patios. I mean, there's just a whole other options that, what I said earlier about condo buildings being old, I mean, a lot of them aren't built with those sort of amenities.
Is there any worry that this will kind of continue, these delistings and kind of what we're seeing right now, or is there a light at the end of the tunnel? The market will kind of work itself out, but how are you feeling with that?
In my gut feeling says it's probably through the rest of this year will be tough, and then I'm very optimistic that usually January 1, light switch goes up and the whole market changes. So I'm very optimistic for next year.
What's that experience like when you have a seller who wants to list for much higher? Because at the end of the day, you really are an expert in pricing. So when you have somebody who says, I really want to list it for this, but it shouldn't be, what is that experience like, and how do you advise those people?
It's a difficult situation. People's homes are their largest asset. People's homes are very personal, and they feel very strongly about their home and the value of their home. They don't necessarily want to listen to what the market says. People believe very strongly in what their home is worth. So a lot of times those situations, I will just say, this is my 2 cents. This is my realtor point of view. I'm going to put it out there. But I'm also a realtor, and this is how I make money, and this is how I get paid. And if somebody really wants to sell something, well, you don't want to lose the listing as well. So you got to try and find that little gray buffer area. So I usually just try and say, this is what I really think it should go for at the end of the day. But if you want to start here, we can try. There's definitely disadvantages to starting too high. But at the end of the day, you also want to get the listing.
Property tax assessments in Milwaukee County. Can we chat about that for a moment?
Sure.
What have you seen recently? Because I know when I got my assessment, and in the last couple of years, it's been going up, but this year it was like, woo! And I know it has been a shock for a lot of people.
Yep, definitely this year especially. And to our original conversation about values, values have not gone up. I think reported was Milwaukee average was like 17% in tax assessments this year. I mean, values did not go up 17% last year. I mean, that's just a simple conversation. I've seen some people have 50% increases. Like I said,
50%.
50%. Yeah.
Wow.
So you're talking about, your tax bill, you're assessed at say $600,000, all of a sudden the city now says you're at $1.2 million. Well, at 2.5% interest rate or 2.5% tax rate, that adds, $10,000. I mean, that's not chump change. That's a lot of money.
People do have the option to challenge that.
They do.
I've thought about in the past, have not done yet. I'm kind of thinking maybe I should have this past time. I know you recently challenged yours, and that's still in the process, but can you kind of walk us through? Because I know there are a lot of people listening who have thought about it or who might think about it in the future who don't really know how that works, and you just went through it.
Sure. It's a simple process, but it's a very time constraint period. So when you get your assessment in the mail, usually around middle of April, they give you a 20-day window where you can file and contest against your assessment.
That's not a lot of time.
No, it's not. And especially a lot of people, April, May, you're traveling. That's spring break time. Mail might not be your top priority. Next thing you get it, well, you didn't realize, you just lost a week or 2 weeks if you're on vacation. Then you're going to think about it. You're going to noodle on it. You're going to ask somebody, talk about it. Well, next thing you know, your 20 days are gone. So it can be a challenge in that aspect to meet those requirements. Well, if you are able to file your contest by that point, then you're basically in the hands of the city. You wait for them to give you a call. They usually want to either talk to you or come out and visit your property, take a look at it, see if there's any updates been done, and then they go through their model and they reevaluate, and then within a month or so, they send you another letter, and once you get that letter, then you can have another discussion with them if you disagree again.
So right now you're in the waiting period.
You got it.
We're talking with Chris Corley from Corley Real Estate because I saw this interesting article the other day that was basically saying sellers are yanking houses off the market rather than stomach further price cuts. And I knew it was happening here in Milwaukee because I've seen it. I love looking at Zillow. And my husband and I have desperately outgrown our space. And so I look at Zillow all the time. And sometimes you're just like, wow. That's way too much for that house. And then sometimes you see cut. And then sometimes they just go off the market and then they just kind of sit there. But there was also an article recently in the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel that noted condos that sold for $1 million or more than $1 million in the city. It's like condos were going for top dollar, and it featured 5 that had sold that month. My first thought was, well, this isn't anything new. Milwaukee has had $1 million condos here, but are there more selling for $1 million right now?
More than average? I mean, right now, I just looked this morning, there is 18 condominiums priced at $1 million and above, and 1 has an accepted offer.
So what does that tell you? I guess it's kind of, in my mind, it could be twofold. It could be we've got more than $1 million condos up for sale right now because people are pricing things so high. Or is it that we really do have condos worth more than $1 million in Milwaukee now?
I mean, we definitely have. I mean, there's definitely condos worth over $1 million that are justified. There's buyers out there wanting those properties. I think last year there was 21 or 22 that sold for over $1 million. When I looked earlier this year, we were about on pace to meet that same number. So there's kind of twofold. There's a lot of inventory out there. There's a lot of people trying to get prices that are probably unrealistic, but there are some things that are still selling.
And I would say, for somebody that can afford $1 million condo, overall, though, I mean, in Milwaukee compared to other bigger cities and metros, I would say you're probably getting a pretty affordable bang for your buck for $1 million in Milwaukee compared to a New York or Chicago, possibly.
Sure. I mean, I'll just break it down in my world as price per square foot. The very highest end in Milwaukee it's probably ever sold is about $700 a square foot. Right now, there's properties in Lake Country, Ozaukee Country or Ozaukee County that are selling for over $1,000 a square foot. So they're alone. Minneapolis, I do a lot of business there and family there. New projects there will start at $1,000 a square foot. Big cities, Chicago, New York, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 a square foot aren't unrealistic. So there's a lot of room to grow here in Milwaukee.
There are a lot of people who think, okay, well, that would be lovely to have $1 million home, but that's never going to be on my bucket list. When it comes to more affordable homes, what are you seeing right now? And are those priced appropriately for the market?
There's always the same situation where sometimes, people think their property's worth a little bit more. They're trying to get a higher price. And I think at all price points, especially in Milwaukee, people are very, price conservative. They're on Zillow. They're looking up and seeing what somebody paid for it before, looking to see if they've done any updates, trying to justify why is that price higher. And just because the market's gotten better, quote unquote, isn't necessarily a justification for a buyer to pay that price. So there's definitely buyers out there. It gets tough when you have these rental properties that are offering incentives that are a little bit more lucrative than you would get from a seller. And then you add in a 7% mortgage rates. I mean, if you got good credit, you can get that low. And high taxes, condo fees, different HOAs. So there's a kind of a compounding effect there why things are a little bit slower this year.
It just seems like such an interesting time right now in the housing market because you have these people who are still pricing their homes so high and not getting anything and then taking them off. But then you do still have some people willing to pay a premium just to get that house or just to get into that great neighborhood.
100% completely true. So there's a lot of people out there.
There are a lot of people out there, without a doubt. Chris Corley with Corley Real Estate, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 12:50.
Hey, moms, dads, grandparents, is summer getting a little long? Kids getting bored? WTMJ's John Mercure here. How about this? Treat them to the Mine Shaft Restaurant and Entertainment Center in Hartford, the area's most affordable staycation destination. The Mine Shaft has a gigantic game room with over 70 games, including the easiest games for the little ones. And Sunday through Thursday, kids 5 and under eat free from the kids' menu. That's right, free. Get a huge 18-inch pizza, a pitcher of soda or beer, and 100 game room credits for just $44.99. The pizza easily feeds a family of 4. Coaches, bring in your soccer, baseball, and basketball team. It's super affordable team bonding. Your teenagers will really love the Mine Shaft. Take your kids to the Mine Shaft in downtown Hartford and in Oshkosh for hours of cool and comfortable fun. Kids menu starts at $3.99. Big food, big fun. The game room opens at 12 noon today. Just walk in, mineshaftRestaurant.com.
The next time you're due for service, visit richlands.com to schedule an appointment at any of our 5 conveniently located facilities.
All AAA approved and all staffed by ASE certified technicians ready to serve you.
Richlands. I'm WTMJ's Sandy Max. What makes senior living at 3 Pillars so special? Let's hear from my friend Marilyn.
I've been volunteering for over 30 years, so I got to know the community and loved it. We have a theater, community room, and we have bocce outside. They have gardens all over the campus that the residents tend to. Quilting groups, sewing groups, knitting groups, just lots and lots of amenities. Never a boring day.
Schedule a tour today at 3pillars.org.
Before you go looking for an area rug that you'll have to settle for because you think that the one you really want will be out of your budget, come to Design Exchange, where you'll find a formidable selection of Oriental, Persian, and other wool area rug choices at 25 to 70% off retail. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
If you're trying to find really good, high-end, distinctive furniture, the kind they just don't make anymore, then come to Design Exchange. But you better get here quickly, because the best furniture we take in on consignment doesn't usually last long. It may be vintage, it may have once been out of your range, but now you'll find it's priced right. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value.
Design Exchange.
Jesus is coming at you. Not in a bad, threatening way. He didn't come into the world to condemn the world. He's coming at you to take the stuff of your life and turn it into a great story. So, hang on.
Hear a classic message from Dr. Dale Meyer as we begin Archives August, this week on The Lutheran Hour.
The Lutheran Hour, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WTMJ.
New at noon, the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources ends efforts to trap the black bear involved in a recent attack in Barron County. The mom and cub involved have not been seen since that attack. The DNR, you'll probably remember this, we told you about it, put up a series of live traps and game cameras on the property, but they say they haven't seen anything. The attack happened more than 2 weeks ago now on July 12th. The DNR says they did round-the-clock surveillance on the property, so it wasn't like they just went out there and looked a couple of times. I mean, this was round-the-clock surveillance trying to find these bears. And they've exhausted their options. They did trap and release a few other bears during that time, but they were not involved in the attack. 69-year-old woman who was attacked is recovering and said to be doing well now. Thank goodness. It's got to be so scary. The bear attacked the woman in her backyard near the town of Comstock. Have you ever come close, Neil, to a bear?
That wasn't
somewhat,
to
the zoo?
Somewhat close, yeah. My family out east, they have a lake house property in Pennsylvania, very wooded area. And this was years ago. We visited. And I remember, I had to have been 10 years old. There was a bear kind of walking around the property, and they're like, oh, he'll be fine. Just, don't go down there. They'll go away. Did go away eventually. We didn't see it again the rest of the trip, but that was the closest I've ever gotten.
Wow. I would love to be up in a cabin, inside the cabin, and see it from outside the window, and far enough that maybe I needed binoculars, because I think it would be fascinating to see one up close, but I do not want to see one up close. And here's the thing. The last 10 months, black bears in Wisconsin have attacked and seriously injured at least 2 people. So this is rare. It is rare for a black bear to attack. But think about that. The last 10 months, black bears in Wisconsin have attacked and seriously hurt at least 2 people. So here's what to do if you encounter one. Be bear wise. That's the advice from Andy Try, bear expert with the Minnesota DNR.
Talk to the bear, yell at it, make yourself look big. If it continues to approach, sometimes you can throw a rock or a piece of firewood at it.
Try says the biggest thing to do if a black bear becomes aggressive is try to stay calm and don't run.
If you're just in your yard and a bear's around, the main thing is just to give that bear a clear escape route. Don't corner it. Keep a wide berth. Just make it loud, make it uncomfortable for that bear, and most of the time, it'll leave right away without an issue.
Most of the time.
You see these videos, too, like on social media of the bears that will walk up to properties, like open car doors.
Yes, jump
obviously
in the car.
get into the garbage or like try to get up on your property. You got to be careful for sure.
But it is good to remember, don't run. Because I think just a normal human instinct, you see a bear, you see something, you see danger, and you're like, get me out of here.
Right.
But if it's a black bear, don't run. Time right now is 12:56. Coming up next, we've got your top local headlines, national news as well. Plus, could surge pricing be coming to your grocery store?
Hi, Mitzi. What's the news from Kessler's in Brookfield?
Everything's smooth like butter. We're all just marching to the beat of the big bass drum.
That sounds like fun.
Your email said you wanted to talk about 32 things. What are they?
The 32 things are rare and special engagement rings.
Tell me more.
Each one of these amazing rings is just waiting for someone to choose the center stone.
What about the side stones?
All the side stones are Kessler 81s.
81 windows exploding with light instead of just 57 windows that are modestly glowing like most other diamonds.
We have 16 rings in 18 karat gold and 16 rings in platinum.
All they need is a center diamond?
Yeah, and our prices on natural center diamonds and created center diamonds are incredibly low right now.
Each store has a beautiful assortment of these rings?
Yes, and they're priced from just $900 up to $3,900.
Good job. Keep marching to the beat of that big bass drum, Mitzi.
I'm excited.
For the location of the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Summer is finally here. We're outside and maybe noticing the condition of our old windows. Gene Miller here for my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors, your local experts in stylish, energy-efficient replacement windows. Boost your curb appeal with top brands like Pella, Anderson, and Marvin, tailored to fit your home, your style, and your budget. Plus, installation by employee carpenters. Wood, vinyl, fiberglass, all on display in their newly remodeled New Berlin showroom. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need. Visit hometownwindows.com today.
Imagine that unbelievable new deck in your backyard. Outdoor Living Unlimited is Wisconsin's #1 TimberTech deck builder. Building new decks and replacing old ones, creating that $1 million feeling every time you relax in your own backyard. Looking for a company to make your backyard scream wow? Stop by Outdoor Living Unlimited's resourceful Waukesha showroom and visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
WTMJ's Brandon Snide with Leslie Smith and General Manager from Wisconsin Harley-Davidson, Craig Brogue. Guys, thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks.
Great to be here. The rally was such an exciting time for me and my family, but Craig, as I have been told, the fun isn't over yet.
No, we still have lots of summer with months left to ride, and you can still get on the open road. With such a wide selection of new and used Harley-Davidson motorcycles, we'll get you on the road to freedom in no time. Stop in and see our sales associates for all of the events happening this month.
So August is packed with all kinds of fun. Leslie, can you fill me in on what's going on at Wisconsin Harley-Davidson out there in Oconomowoc?
Yeah, we're not done yet. We have tons of riding left. So we want to welcome back the annual Waukesha Sheriff's Canine Ride. This year, they're celebrating their 28th year. Join us for a ride throughout the Kettle Moraine, then here at the dealership for some food, live music, exhibitors, demos from our Waukesha canines, and more. A great way to support those who keep us safe.
That is on August 2nd. That's the annual Waukesha Sheriff's Canine Ride. But Leslie, that's not where the fun ends. What else you got coming up?
Oh, yeah. So this one was a fun one to decide. We wanted to do a Not Rally. You asked for it. We made it happen. One stage, unfortunately, not compared to our homecoming festival, but amazing bands, 2 days, August 29th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. and August 30th from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's like a little mini rally right in Oconomowoc.
Set your calendars August 29th and August 30th. Tons of fun at Wisconsin Harley-Davidson out there in Oconomowoc. Let them fill your summer with riding adventures. Again, for more information, go to WISHD.com or follow them on Facebook and Instagram. It's Wisconsin Harley-Davidson, your destination dealer.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
Armstrong can run. 12 stolen bases on the year. There he goes.
In this race for first place, there's no room for error.
Throw to second is right on the back. They got him. Oh, wow. William Contreras cuts down Pete Crow Armstrong.
It's the Brewers and the Cubs in an NL Central standoff. This series is sponsored by IKEA Oak Creek. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:05 on the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 101. I'm Jessica Tighe. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Monday, July 28th. Your top story, multiple people hurt after a mass shooting in Nevada.
I'm Neil Doyle in for Greg Matzik, asking the U.S. High Court to take up her appeal.
A heat advisory is in effect until 8 o'clock tonight. It is feeling like summer indeed. Very hot and humid again. High of 90, but it's going to feel much worse due to the humidity. Tonight, we have a chance for rain and storms, mostly cloudy and humid otherwise. We'll dip down to 72 for the low. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, an active investigation is underway right now outside of a hotel and casino in Reno, Nevada.
It's not clear yet what motivated the shooting in the valet area of the Grand Sierra Resort and Casino in Reno. It was around 7:25 in the morning when an active shooter was reported. Police arrived and found victims and a suspect. There was an officer-involved shooting. An alleged shooter was arrested. Reno Police Chief Catherine Nance.
Officers then located several victims of gunshot wounds.
And while the chief won't talk about deaths, a Reno City Councilman says in a statement that lives were lost in the shooting. Alex Stone, EBC News.
Former girlfriend of Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, is urging the Supreme Court to take up her pending appeal and overturn her sex trafficking conviction. CBS's Scott McFarland has more.
The statement includes this phrase: President Trump built his legacy in part on the power of a deal, and surely he would agree that when the U.S. gives its word, it must stand by it. He also says in his statement that the president himself should recognize how profoundly unjust it is to scapegoat Ghislaine Maxwell for Epstein's crimes, especially when the government promised she would not be prosecuted.
She claims she was covered by an agreement Epstein made with federal authorities that shielded her from prosecution. Maxwell is serving 20 years in prison for sex trafficking.
Decision, Wisconsin. Governor Tony Evers says he likely won't endorse a Democratic candidate in the state's 2026 gubernatorial race.
I tend to try to avoid that, so no, I'll never say never, but I want to make sure who the rest of the candidates are before I even make that decision.
Governor Evers confirmed Thursday he would not seek a third term in office. Lieutenant Governor Sarah Rodriguez is the only confirmed Democratic candidate in the field at this point, but Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley has said he plans to begin his campaign in the weeks ahead.
Milwaukee police officers say they've gone too long without a raise.
The head of Milwaukee's police union says officers have had enough.
Is it only when they get shot, or do you care about your police officers on a daily basis and their economic status and their wages and the way they're living?
President of the Milwaukee Police Association, Alexander Ayala, tells WTMJ,
we cannot strike. So we are also put in a situation where if we were shipping container operators or bus drivers or teachers, we can definitely strike. But police officers are not allowed to strike.
Contract talks between the union and City Hall remain stalled for now. Nicer Spencer, WTMJ News.
You can hear the whole interview with Alexander Ayala on WTMJ Conversations this Sunday.
Capping tuition costs for higher education in Wisconsin.
2 Wisconsin lawmakers are proposing a new bill that would put a limit to how much tuition the UW system can raise for students. Representative Dave Murphy and Senator Andre Jacques are hoping to put a pause to tuition hikes after the state approved a $256 million budget increase for the next 2 years. The Journal-Sentinel reports UW officials said at a recent board meeting that tuition hikes are needed despite the budget increase. The UW system is also still feeling the long-term effects of a decade of frozen tuition. Sean Brinda, WTMJ News.
Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow, down 130 points, sitting at 44,771. S&P down 8 points as well at 6,379. The NASDAQ is up 37 at 21,145. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:05.
We ran the numbers and determined the overseas furniture makers are paying an extra 38% to package and ship their iffy furniture to the Midwest.
They're not paying it. The customer is.
That means of the $1,000 spent on a piece of iffy imported furniture, $380 of those dollars are paying for nothing that makes the product better.
But 82% of the furniture sold at Penny Mustard is made within 300 miles of us.
Swaddled in a comfy blankie and hand-delivered right here in the Midwest.
So we're able to invest that extra $380 into higher quality materials and craftsmanship.
The result is solid, sturdy, American-made furniture that lasts for generations.
Try doing that with the iffy-made furniture they make overseas.
So when you're buying new furniture, would you rather pay for low-quality, global shipping and dumpsters full of packaging?
Or would you rather spend that money on long-lasting, locally crafted furnishings?
When you shop at Penny Mustard, it adds up.
PennyMustard.com.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here for Certa Pro Painters. They painted the exterior of our house. I loved it because they're thorough and they're thoughtful. As a matter of fact, they pointed out some wood that might need to eventually be replaced. They just looked at the whole house, and I felt like they absolutely cared. Get on Certa Pro's calendar right now. The summer sales discount goes through July 31st. Schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C for your home or business. They'll do it the right way the first time. Each Certa Pro Painters business is independently owned and operated. It's Certa Pro Painters.
Who's up for some fun? Visit Food and Farm Exploration Center in charming Plover, Wisconsin. Whether you're 2 or 90, an adventure awaits you. There are exhibits, events, outdoor activities, cooking classes, and a cafe with amazing food and a selection of adult beverages. For those of you no longer into juice boxes. Did we mention we have the world's largest potato masher? Everybody has fun. Everybody learns something. For tickets, just show up or visit us online at explorefoodandfarm.org.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. A needed win for the Brewers as they took the series finale over the Marlins 3-2.
Fly ball center field. That is going to do it and then some. Perkins walks it off against the Marlins.
Jeff Levering's call. Blake Perkins wasn't even starting the game on Sunday as the Brewers salvaged the finale 3-2. His manager, Pat Murphy.
It was emotional for me to see Perk come through right there. I mean, that was huge.
And for Perkins, after missing the first 3.5 months of the year,
you know, these moments, I don't ever really feel like it's going to be me in the spot. To come through, man, it's such an incredible feeling. It's just special, man. It's you're right. It's been a long year, and this is pretty cool.
From American Family Field, I'm Dominic Cotroneo.
And the Crew starting a big 3-game series with the Cubs tonight at American Family Field. All of our coverage starting at 6:05 right here on WTMJ.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We do have a new crash just popped up minutes after 1 o'clock here. It's on I-43 South beyond the ramp from Good Hope Road. The left lane is blocked, so they're saying severe delays. That's definitely what's coming down from 511 Wisconsin right now. Expect severe delays. This is a new crash on I-43 South beyond the ramp from Good Hope Road. Of course, 43 is an area where we still have construction barrels out. And I do see some significant delaying already happening. I also see an ambulance that has pulled up to the scene, so hopefully no one is seriously hurt. But we do have this new crash that is causing significant delays on I-43 South beyond the ramp from Good Hope Road.
Here's the WTMJ 5-day forecast. Heat advisory in effect until 8 o'clock tonight. Sunny, hot, humid conditions this afternoon. A high around 90. Heat index values will feel like it's between 100 and 105. Tonight, then, we'll see chances for showers and storms. Cloudy as well, low of 72. Tuesday, some shower and storm chances possibly early. Cloudy skies, high of 87. Wednesday, again, could see some showers and storms. Will be cooler Wednesday, high of 76. Thursday, sunny and breezy, high of 77, and then mostly sunny Friday with highs in the mid to upper 70s. In Milwaukee, it is 87 degrees.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Tighe, and in for Greg Matzik, it's Neil Doyle.
Happy Monday, everyone. We hope you had a fabulous weekend. This is the edition of Greg Goes Golfing.
I mean, it's the time of year. You got to do it.
Right?
Summer.
He likes to golf. And
I'm
so
jealous.
He's out there. Great golf tournament for a good cause. He'll be back with us tomorrow. In the meantime, we welcome Neil.
I'm excited to be here.
Well, stay with us. Coming up today, we've got a lot headed in this next hour. It's a job that wasn't in our schools back in the day. Not every district has one now, but it is becoming more popular, and Madison just named a new one. That story is coming up. Also, what if your grocery store had surge pricing? Would you like it? But first, this.
And now it's time for 3 Big Things on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number 1, scaling back the search. Investigators say a decline in new leads is prompting them to cut down on search efforts for a Pewaukee native accused of killing his own daughters. Travis Decker was the subject of a major manhunt starting in early June after his 3 young girls were found dead near a campground in Washington state. The criminal investigation is still going on, but the lead team investigating in Washington state says there's been an exhaustive search of several areas. In late June, authorities acknowledged Decker may have died while evading law enforcement. The U.S. Marshals Service is still offering a $20,000 reward for any information that leads to Decker's arrest. An autopsy confirmed Decker's girls died by suffocation.
Number 2, former Milwaukee Brewer CC Sabathia enshrined in baseball history. The big left-hander was inducted Sunday into the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. Sabathia's former Brewers teammate, Ricky Weeks, saying CC was certainly an unselfish teammate.
Him coming in, being a superstar as he was, and then on top of that, in his walk year, he's going to get a $150+ million contract coming up, barring not being injured, and him come in to pitch every 3 days for, I don't know, a whole month, and some change on some other outings or whatever. Like, that's probably never going to ever be done again. I mean, that speaks volumes in itself. That's probably why he's a Hall of Famer right now.
When Sabathia came to Milwaukee in that 2008 season, a stellar 11-2 record, had a 1.65 ERA in 17 of those starts. Had 7 complete games, a near no-hitter as well, and that certainly helped the Brewers get into the postseason that year. It was their first postseason appearance since 1982. Of course, joining Sabathia as well in this year's Hall of Fame class, Ichiro Suzuki, Billy Wagner, Dave Parker, and Dick Allen.
Number 3, extreme heat again. Life-threatening heat is blanketing the Midwest and South today, impacting about 185 million people. Forecasters say the heat index in many places could go well into the 100s, and that's looking like the case here in southeastern Wisconsin.
More than half of the nation's population is under heat alerts, with many places from the plains to the East Coast in for temperatures that feel as hot as 115 degrees. These construction workers are trying to cope with the heat in Cape Girardeau, Missouri.
We drink lots of water, take frequent breaks, look out for each other, find AC when we can, stuff like that.
We usually keep 5 gallons of water at all times. That's what we got to do.
The extreme heat in the east is expected to break by the end of the week. Jim Crisula, CBS News.
Our heat advisory goes until 8 o'clock tonight. After that, prepare for some rain and storms. TMJ4 meteorologist Kristen Kershane will join us during our next half hour to let us know when we'll finally see some relief from this heat.
I know you have a great dog, right? But you know there's room for improvement. At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we can help. Our attention-based training system uses modern technology to help you better communicate with your dog, even in high distraction. When you schedule a free consultation with us, you will have the opportunity to see our training in action and meet for yourself our happy dogs off leash and under control. Contact Sit Means Sit today at 262-361-3641 or find us on the web at sitmeansitwaukesha.com to schedule your free consultation so you can have a happy, confident, and obedient dog.
Doing banking differently since 1896. Greg Matzik here for Horicon Bank. Think about that for a second. Over 100 years of focus on the community and your business. At Horicon Bank, financing requests can be approved in days, not weeks, because your banker understands you and your business. And yes, Horicon Bank is expanding, but they've not lost that community-minded feel. I trust Horicon Bank. I've connected with Horicon Bank, and I invite you to do the same. It's Horicon Bank, truly the natural choice, member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, reminding you to double-check your home. Siding Unlimited is the proven exteriors professionals for 31 years. Family-owned and locally operated right here in Wisconsin. Call Siding Unlimited and visit sidingunlimited.com.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Crew Tuesdays are back on July 29th.
Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes!
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Chicago Cubs.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness. Third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Delta Dental of Wisconsin. Tune in July 29th at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check out your local listings to watch the game.
The Madison Metropolitan School District just named its new director of mental health and well-being. That's a title we didn't have at school back in my day, and many of you are probably thinking the same, but it's an important one in 2025. The next director of mental health and well-being at MMSD, Dr. Tracy Scher, joins us live on the line. Congrats, Tracy.
Thank you so much.
Can you detail what your role is and how it differs from school counselors and other mental health professionals?
Sure. Well, I am a school psychologist by training. I'm licensed by the state and also nationally certified. And in this role, I'm going to be leading the district's comprehensive student mental health strategy. That means a lot of things, including overseeing our mental health literacy work, our screening of students for depression and suicidal ideation, and then also supervising our mental health navigation processes.
Madison is the second largest school district in the state, right behind Milwaukee. It has more than 25,000 students across more than 50 schools. How do you even begin to evaluate how kids are doing on a mental health level and make sure that no kid slips through the cracks?
Yes, well, it is a big job, and fortunately, we have a number of school-based mental health professionals doing the work day in and day out. Those would be our social workers, our counselors, our nurses, and our school psychologists. And so they're really doing, again, that daily work with our 25,000 plus students, as you mentioned.
Just curious too, Tracy, obviously with, mental health services being provided, and I would imagine a lot of districts probably have people in a role similar to yours or, something along that line. But just how have you kind of seen, just even within the Madison School District there, kind of how maybe those services have evolved and kind of what's being offered for students now?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. I think one of the things I've seen throughout my about 20 years in the profession is an increased focus on prevention and also on screening, as I mentioned. So trying to really work with students on a daily basis on building their understanding of mental health and well-being, that it's something we all have and something we can build, that it's not only about illness. And then also the screening piece, where we do survey students within MMSD at least one grade level each year across elementary, middle and high schools, and we get a sense of who's struggling with symptoms of depression or maybe some suicidal thinking, so that we can follow up as early as possible with them to get them needed supports.
It wasn't in your school district, but it was in your city, the deadly school shooting last year at Abundant Life Christian School in Madison. Is that something kids in your district had to work through, even though it didn't happen exactly there?
Certainly when gun violence occurs in a community, and particularly in a school, there are far-reaching effects, and we have connections to people who are more directly affected in these circumstances. So there are certainly folks in our school community who did deal and continue to deal with the after effects of that situation.
Yeah, that's got to be so hard. I think about the students first, but I imagine you also have to think about your staff members too and their mental health and well-being.
Absolutely. And my role might be more appropriately named as Director of Student Mental Health and Wellbeing, in that my focus is on the services for students. However, we definitely recognize through human resources and even the profession of school psychology that self-care is something that is almost an ethical responsibility at this point, that in order to be able to provide the best supports for students possible, as professionals, we're always attending to our own mental health and well-being. And by supporting students, we are also supporting the professionals who are working for them on a daily basis.
Have you seen, even within the Madison School District or other districts around the state, more funding being pushed towards mental health services and some of the different support services being offered? Or has some of that been an issue, maybe getting the funding you need for these services?
Yeah, The answer to that is yes and no. Certainly, there have been funds and grant programs that have grown in recent years. However, there also have been challenges in that regard because of the scope of the work. And so we really take what we refer to as a braided funding approach, where we're looking at both federal and state funding for school-based mental health services, also grant funding, and then we also have some very, generous philanthropic donors, and so the funding is coming from multiple sources. Overall, it has grown, in recent years, and there are challenges ensuring that it's sustainable and that we aren't just implementing programs, say, for 1 year, that we're able to maintain those programs, especially for students who need them on an ongoing basis and develop relationships with those providers.
We're talking with Dr. Tracy Scher. She was just named the new Director of Mental Health and Well-Being for the Madison Metropolitan School District, and the Madison District is the second largest school district in the state, right behind Milwaukee. Not all school districts have this title, have this position, but more are adding them. Why is this position needed now and moving forward?
I think over the years, just like there's been that increased focus on prevention I mentioned, I think there's also, there's still stigma surrounding mental health, but also more recognition that, again, it's something that everyone has. And well-being is a part of our focus also, not only mental illness. And I think there's been recognition that the more we put into mental health and well-being, the more available students are for learning, which is why we're here.
And I guess you just kind of touched on that, but would you say kind of students in today's age are more open about their mental health and kind of are willing to talk about it and seek out some of the services that are being offered?
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned that. There's something referred to as the Dane County Youth Assessment that is administered to students within Dane County every 3 years. And the last version of that was in 2024. And that's actually a question that's asked on the survey of starting with 7th grade students through high school. And we definitely see some increases in the percentages of students who talk with other folks about their mental wellness and who they speak to. Certainly, it can be parents and family members. It can also be teachers and educators, as well as their peers or fellow students.
Real quickly, when I was looking at your background, I saw you spent 18 years at UW-Whitewater preparing the next generation of school psychologists. I was curious, are any of those school psychologists that you prepared back in the day now working with you in the Madison School District?
They sure are. And one of the joys of being a professor for that many years was to see my graduate students ultimately, and sometimes my undergraduate students who became graduate students, ultimately become my colleagues. And now many of them are seasoned school psychologists doing this work daily. And they have trouble now referring to me as Tracy instead of Dr. Scher, the more formal title.
Fair enough, fair enough. That is Dr. Tracy Scher, the new Director of Mental Health and Well-Being for the Madison School District. Best wishes in this new role, Tracy.
Thank you so much.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is coming up on 126, and after that, it's your top local news and national headlines.
Hey, Monica. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Rick.
Hey, Joe. To what do we owe the honor?
Don't you have CEO-type things you need to be doing?
Or Joe might be here because he's been doing some CEO-type things that he thinks we should know about.
Bingo! You guessed it, Monica.
What do you need us to do, Joe?
Well, I'm here because I want to present an idea to you.
Cool. What is it?
I'd been talking with finance companies and was able to make a deal for 18-month financing at 0% interest with a $750 or more purchase.
And your idea was to offer 18-month 0% financing to all of our customers?
It's subject to credit approval, but yeah, that's what I was thinking.
How long will we be able to do it?
From July 1st to July 31st.
0% will let people buy diamonds that were on their bucket list.
I know what I'm buying.
I'm going on a shopping spree. I'm going to have more jewelry than the Queen of England.
So you like the idea?
We don't like it. We love it.
For the location of the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
I'm Matt Dorner, CEO of Milwaukee Downtown Bid 21. Our business leaders value downtown Milwaukee.
I'm Paul Sternlieb, CEO of Enerpac Tool Group. We moved our headquarters to downtown Milwaukee earlier this year, and we love it. Downtown has such a vibrant atmosphere. Our dynamic new workplace here will help us expand our business and attract and retain world-class talent.
Get down to business at MilwaukeeDowntown.com.
Paying you to live more comfortably. A deal you do not want to pass up. Vince Vetrano for USA Insulation. They will insulate your walls from the exterior. No disruption inside your home. Blow and loose fiberglass in the attic, plus air seal everything. Most homeowners feeling a difference within 24 to 48 hours. And with government rebates, you could save 40 to 60% or more. No work for you to do. USA Insulation will process everything. Visit usainsulation.net. Start saving today.
USA Insulation.
Time to stock up on deals at Fleet Farm's Truckload Super Sale, July 31st through August 3rd. Get a Blackstone 28-inch Omnivore Griddle Bundle for just $269.99. Our own 24 packs of drinking water are 4 for $10. A WorkMax linkable 30-inch LED shop light is only $6.59. And 40-pound bags of black oil sunflower seed are just $18.99. Head to your local Fleet Farm to haul away truckload savings. And check out our weekly ad for even more deals at fleetfarm.com.
They'd found a quaint little home, a stone's throw away from the park. The landscaping was well kept, and the inside was clean as a whistle. But it was outdated, and being that this was their first home, they didn't have a lot of extra cash to do a big remodeling job. You see, the home's living room had a wall of mirrors. He wanted to keep them up, but she was unsure. I told her how beveling the edges of the mirrors would add a hint of elegance, while keeping the spacious look that the mirrors provided. And I asked her to visit our showroom, so I could show her exactly what I meant. Turns out she loved the look, and now, even with the new remodeling job they're doing, the beveled mirrors are there to stay. This is Stacy Sinks with Less's Glass Service, and glass and mirrors have been our business for over 35 years. So if it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Less's Glass. Less's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lessglassservice.com.
Acumen Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 255368.
Don't settle for a flimsy bank pre-approval. Get the pre-approval listing agents and sellers recognized as better than the rest. The rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval from Accunet. Get yours by clicking on the blue button at accunet.com.
It is just about 1:30. I'm Jessica Tighe. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Monday, July 28th. Your top story? A former governor says he's a no-go for running again next time.
I'm Neil Doyle, in for Greg Matzik. The search for a black bear in Wisconsin comes to an end.
Are you feeling the heat? A heat advisory is in effect until 8 o'clock tonight, so a few more hours to go yet. It is a hot and humid one. We have a high of 90 today, but the humidity is going to make it feel much worse, and it is already. Tonight, we have a chance for rain and storms, mostly cloudy and humid otherwise, low of 72.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. NFL legend Deion Sanders, now the head football coach at the University of Colorado, revealed today he's been treated for bladder cancer. He made the announcement during a press conference alongside his doctors.
Without wonderful people like this, I probably wouldn't be sitting here today because it grew so expeditiously, I could say. But please get yourself checked.
Sanders' doctor said treatment included removing his bladder and constructing a new one. A federal judge blocked one part of the Republican tax policy bill that blocks funding to Planned Parenthood, writing it likely violates the Constitution in 3 different ways. President Trump met with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer in Scotland. The two discussed the humanitarian situation in Gaza as President Trump disputed Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's claim that there's no starvation. Today, two Israeli human rights groups said Israel is committing genocide. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:31. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, decision Wisconsin. A former Republican governor will not enter the state's gubernatorial race in 2026.
I'm not going to be a candidate for governor in 2026. In fact, I'm going to continue my work as president of Young America's Foundation.
Scott Walker made the announcement Sunday on his X account. He also said this does not mean he will never run again. There are two Republicans in the race so far, as several others are considering a run. Lieutenant Governor Cyril Rodriguez was the first Democrat to announce a run. A second Democrat, Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley, says he'll be taking steps towards entering the race in the weeks ahead. This is the first time since 2010 Wisconsin's gubernatorial race is open with no incumbent running. Governor Tony Evers announced last week he is not seeking a third term.
200 military mothers from across the country are gathering in Milwaukee for a week of sisterhood, service, and support.
Sacrifice doesn't just come from the battlefield. This week, military moms are gathering in Milwaukee to share how service has helped shape their lives, too. Teresa Sumner's traveled to the convention and says it's been an emotional yet inspiring experience.
You may not come from a military background, and you don't know what to expect. And that's where we can be your support. That will help you get through that basic, that deployment that you may not be able to call, but you will have your Blue Star sister who's going to have your back.
Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
The Wisconsin DNR is ending efforts to trap the black bear involved in a recent attack in Barron County. 69-year-old Karen Fry was attacked while in the backyard of her rural residence near the town of Comstock. It was more than 2 weeks ago now on July 12th. Fry was transported to a nearby hospital for treatment. We're told she's recovering in stable condition right now. The mother bear and the cub involved have not been observed since that attack. The DNR did trap and release 2 male black bears and a couple of other bears who were not involved in the incident, and they will continue to monitor the area.
The Wisconsin Department of Health confirming the first case of West Nile virus in the state this year. The human case was reported in Barron County, but mosquitoes from Milwaukee and Lafayette counties have also tested positive for the virus. West Nile virus spreads through infected mosquitoes. Most people don't have any symptoms after infection. Older adults and people who have compromised immune systems are at a greater risk of developing severe illness that can be fatal.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 1:34.
Tony Evers and the Madison Democrats are too weak and too radical. But the same old career politicians can't stop them.
I'm Bill Berrien, a former Navy SEAL and Wisconsin manufacturer. I'm an outsider and a businessman, just like President Trump. I'm running for governor to advance the Trump agenda, shake up Madison, and put Wisconsin citizens first.
Let's fire the bureaucrats. Hire the outsider. Bill Berrien for governor. Paid for by Bill for Governor.
For your next night out, revel in the fusion of artistry and flavor with sushi at St. Kate, offering guests an elevated experience where freshness and creativity converge in every bite. St. Kate the Arts Hotel introduces an exciting new sushi menu to its culinary repertoire. Indulge in the finest seafood, freshest ingredients, and expert craftsmanship for an inspired and delectable dining journey. Experience the art of sushi at St. Kate and learn more at stkatearts.com.
It's WTMJ's Debbie Lazaga for Comfort Awnings. This summer, I'm getting relief from the hot sun whenever I need it with my motorized retractable awning from Comfort Awnings. Sensors are also available that detect strong wind and rain to extend or retract your awning. They even protect against UV radiation so you can safely enjoy the outdoors all summer long. Family owned and located in Burlington, Comfort Awnings expertly installs custom awnings that fit your home and style. Right now, you can receive $250 off all awnings and screens. Call 414-AWNINGS or visit comfortawnings.com.
If you or a loved one is ever hurt in an accident, don't call the first lawyer you happen to see on TV. Instead, call the law firm that's most qualified to handle the complexities of your case. Or call the firm that won the largest personal injury verdict in Wisconsin history. Or the one with the largest product liability verdict in state history. Or the one that has recovered more million-dollar results than any other firm in Wisconsin. It all happens to be the same firm. Habish, Habish & Rotier. National reputation, hometown service. Visit habish.com for more information.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. Former Milwaukee Brewer and Cy Young Award winner CC Sabathia inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Thank you to the baseball writers. Thank you to the fans out there. And thank you most of all to the great players sitting behind me. I am so proud and humbled to join you as a Hall of Famer. Even Ichiro, who stole my Rookie of the Year award in 2001.
Sabathia played 19 big league seasons, including with the Brewers in 2008. Joining Sabathia in this year's Hall of Fame class, Ichiro Suzuki, Billy Wagner, Dave Parker, and Dick Allen. And speaking of the Brewers, a big 3-game series coming up, and it starts tonight at American Family Field as they welcome in the Chicago Cubs. Coverage tonight starting at 6:05 right here on WTMJ.
Let's get you an update on the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic. I do have some good news. The crash that we had on 43 out in Ozaukee County, that has since cleared, so that's some good news. I will say, however, we still have a disabled vehicle out that way, I-43 North, just a little bit beyond the ramp from Wisconsin 60. The right shoulder is blocked due to a car that's broken down. If you are in any delays, it's just kind of leftover from the congestion that we had due to the crash earlier. 43, we are seeing a little bit of our delays, typical delays due to the construction. Also, same thing for 41. It looks like today, at least right now, right around Good Hope is okay, but right before you get to Mill Road, it really starts to slow down. Very slow around Silver Spring as well, and then it eases up around Hampton. Yes, it is going to be hot in the city tonight, but guess what? It is hot in the city right now as well. You like this one, Kristen?
I don't know. Maybe a little hot for me. I like summer, but 90s is, it's a little much even today. It's hot.
I know, the humidity. Meteorologist Kristen Kershane from TMJ4 News joins us now, and I know a lot of people are just sweating out there. So I think the two big questions as we join you here are, number one, how hot is it going to feel at the worst point to today? And then when do we finally get some relief?
So the relief comes Wednesday. It'll be a little better tomorrow. Not a lot better, but I think it'll be a little better tomorrow, Wednesday, when you're really going to notice the difference. It's going to start to feel a lot different. As far as the heat index today, I'm sitting here in the weather office with Michael Fish, and we were just talking about this because the dew points are actually not quite as high as we anticipated them to be this afternoon. So our heat index right now in Milwaukee is 91, but the air temperature is 90. So the dew point right now is in the 60s. And so it doesn't feel quite as hot because we don't have quite as much humidity. Although if you go inland, it's a little more humid and it is warmer. But I still think that heat indices at times this afternoon will get into the low triple digits. And even if they're not in the triple digits, they're going to be in the 90s. And so really, it's hot regardless. And that heat advisory is going to go until 8 o'clock tonight still.
And with, obviously the heat we're dealing with throughout the afternoon, I was looking as well. Could this then bring maybe a chance for some storms tonight, maybe some severe weather, or how's that looking?
Yeah, so we do have the chance to see some rain, maybe some thunderstorms. It really looks like it's going to be by tomorrow morning. These setups are really actually very hard to forecast. So what happens is we're kind of on the edge of this big dome of heat, and you get the storms that ride around the edge of that dome of heat. We tend to call that the ring of fire. And so we're going to have, like we did this morning, clouds and some showers that edge their way around that heat dome. So we had that little chance this morning. Same thing's going to happen tomorrow morning. And then it looks like even as we get into Wednesday, maybe one more round, and then we will finally dry things out. So I think our next best chance to maybe see some rain, possibly some rumbles of thunder, looks like it's going to come tomorrow morning.
Okay, you said Ring of Fire. Now all I can think of is Johnny Cash.
Right?
That's a good one, too. That's
how you remember it.
Okay, so when we're getting this relief at some point, I know you can only forecast out, so many days. I know sometimes people, send you emails because they have a wedding in a month and a half and they want to know, if it's going to rain that day or whatnot. But just knowing how Wisconsin summers are, do you expect or would you anticipate that we see another heat wave like this? Because we've had a couple this summer. It almost feels like more than usual.
Yeah, and I'm going to look up later today. how many 90s that we've had, because I was curious about that, because we did hit 90 so far today in Milwaukee. And so I was going to look that up later today. I don't have the number right now. But yeah, I mean, we're just about to head into August. And so certainly it's going to warm up again. We are not done with summer yet, but it does look like as we move from, mid to late week and even into next weekend, those temperatures are going to be in the 70s. We're going to cut back to humidity. Overnight lows are going to feel a lot more comfortable. So we've got a really, really nice stretch of weather on the way. For folks who are not into this heat today, just wait a couple of days. It's going to get really, really nice.
Yeah, and Thursday specifically. What about Thursday? Because that's the start of the Wisconsin State Fair, and I know a lot of people are getting ready to go.
Yes, Thursday is going to be beautiful. It looks like we'll see little breezy for Thursday, but mostly sunny to partly cloudy. Looks like high temperatures in the mid-70s, so super comfortable.
Something else I wanted to ask you about, Kristen. Is it true that Wisconsin is now drought-free?
It is true. Isn't that nice?
That's good. Good news.
There's a small part of the state in southeast Wisconsin is considered what we call abnormally dry, which is not considered a drought. So it's still a little dry in extreme southeast Wisconsin, but there is no categorical drought in Wisconsin anymore, which we like to see.
All right, that's good.
And farmers definitely like to see.
Yeah, without a doubt. They're saying ding, 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 ding. She's right on that one.
Yes.
Thank you so much. It's Kristen Kershade, meteorologist for TMJ4. We appreciate it as always.
Okay, talk to you guys tomorrow.
Time right now is 1:42. Coming up next, a popular app. In fact, this is an app that I hadn't even heard about until last week. It has just been hacked. So it's in the news again today, and for a different reason, not just because it's popular. So we'll talk about that next. Dive into it with Jim Ryan.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
Helping people and families seriously injured in accidents and standing up for victims to take the burden off your shoulders. Greg Matzik here for Gruber Law Offices. If you've been hurt in an accident, connect with Gruber. They will fight the legal battle while you focus on healing, which is what you want to be doing if you've been hurt in an accident. Getting results that speak for themselves for over 40 years and giving back to the community. Locally known and nationally recognized. Count on Gruber Law Offices if you've been hurt in an accident. Visit gruber-law.com.
Goodyear, Dunlop, Kelly, Continental, General, you name it, we got it.
Plus, free flat tire repair, free tire rotations, and more.
So when you're due for tire service, schedule it at richlawns.com.
That's Rich Lawns with 2 N's.
Rich Lawns.
I've always believed that great service makes all the difference. At Waterstone Bank, it's more than just banking. It's personal. When I needed help choosing an account, my banker took the time to understand my needs and guided me through my options. Thanks to her advice, I can watch my money grow, knowing it's secure.
Welcome to your Waterstone Bank, where community and personal service come together. Member FDIC.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering needlessly from chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aid or Sledgehammer solutions. Band-Aids are pills or nasal sprays, and they're not true solutions. Surgery is a sledgehammer, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Because most people don't need surgery for nose and sinus issues, nor do they want a 14-day recovery. Our unique Advent approach can, in 20 minutes in our office, open your blocked nose for good, with only 1-day recovery. I'm Advent founder Dr. Kandula. Outside of Advent's 4 walls, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here you will find effective and convenient in-office solutions to help you stop the need for Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
AdventKnows.com.
Most insurance accepted.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Inspired Closets, something that can positively affect your mood, getting organized and clearing out the clutter. A well-rounded closet could be the most powerful room in your home. Inspired Closets can transform your closets or laundry room, your pantry, any space in your house. What separates Inspired Closets from the others? Their 3D design software and a culture that promises to build what you want and need. Call my friends Katie and Dan today, a wife-husband team ready to help. Inspired Days start in Inspired Closets. InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
It's an app designed to help women date safely. Now it's been hacked. I'll be honest, I just heard about the Tighe app for the first time last week because it had skyrocketed to the top spot in Apple's App Store. Today it's in the news again because of this big hack. Let's bring in ABC's Jim Ryan to spill the tea on this one. Jim, what got leaked when the dating app got hacked?
Well, about 72,000 different files. Jeez. And this was primarily selfies, but also, and this is troubling, Jessica, the pictures of people's driver's licenses. So as part of the application process, in order to get the app and be a part of the service as a subscriber, you have to upload your selfie to prove that you are who you say you are, alongside of a picture of your driver's license, right? Or any picture ID, primarily driver's licenses. And so that's a problem. But this all relates to downloads and subscriptions that came before February of 2024. So about a year and a half ago, when, as like you, nobody had ever really heard of Tighe. But supposedly at that point, Tighe came up with a better way of securing its data. But so if you signed up before February of 2024, that's the data that's been compromised now.
And I'm assuming, again, this app's been around for a little bit, but with this recent data breach, has that kind of spurred kind of the downloads here? Because again, I mean, it's one of the top downloaded apps right now. Is that kind of the reason we're seeing people start to download this more?
Well, I sort of doubt. In fact, I'd like to see what the data is right now in terms of downloads. Since this hack happened, I suspect that people will kind of shy away from it, maybe shut down their subscriptions or not subscribe to it. But yeah, that'll be interesting to see. In 1 week, Neil, the 7 days from July 17th through the 23rd, the downloads of Tighe, the app, shot up 525% compared to the week before. And this is right about the time that we had this hack. The hack was announced on Friday, this past Friday. So that was, after this huge increase in downloads. So it's almost as though the app has been a victim of its own success. Somebody noticed that, hey, we can, this app that is suddenly super popular, maybe we can get into it, hack it, and steal some data.
I was kind of curious. So this morning I looked, knowing that Tighe was the number one app in the Apple App Store last week. I thought, okay, where is it now? It has dropped, but it's still sitting there at number 2. I think there's probably a lot of young people out there who don't know this news yet, which is why we're trying to get the word out. But Jim, for those, there are a lot of parents listening right now who might have young adults who are on this app. Mm-hmm. Can we explain how exactly this app works and what ultimately is the goal of it?
Well, it's sort of like a forum. It's a forum where women who are dating online, they can post information about not just bad dates, guys who were late or cheapskates or just not very nice, but who maybe use fake names or are married or have criminal backgrounds that they didn't disclose on the dating site. So it's a way for women to warn others, post red flags about guys, in hopes of letting other women know not to date that person, right? And it's gotten into some controversy before because of that, Jessica. Men who say that their privacy was compromised, and that that they've been characterized as bad guys, and so that it's faced that kind of criticism and scrutiny in the past. And it could be that the people who hacked into it are some of those folks who feel that they've been wrongly characterized as bad guys. This wasn't a ransomware attack. It's not as though all that data was being held in lieu of a big payment from Tighe. This stuff was just taken and then spread across the internet.
And in today's day and age of online dating, there are a ton of different apps people can use. Have we seen any other dating apps experience a hack, possibly like this one, anything that we're aware of?
Well, I know in the past that some have. Match, for example, I think was hacked into a couple of years ago. I would suspect that almost all of them have been at one point or another, given the how often this happens. So, yeah, this is a big one, and it's not necessarily a dating app, but it's an adjunct to dating apps. People have called it, Neil, kind of the Yelp of the dating world, the online dating world.
So what is the app doing about this hack? And is there anything in particular that women who are using it should be doing now that they know about the hack?
Well, interestingly, T says, you don't need to change your passwords or anything like that. This all is older information. And I'm not sure why that is, why they would not be urging people to do whatever they could to protect themselves. But it's hired a cybersecurity firm. It's tried to lock down the information, and it insists, T does, that the data is now secure.
Back in the day, Jim, we didn't need to worry about stuff like this, but dating in 2025 is so much different. Seeking romance in the digital age can come with risks.
Well, it can, yes. But, I mean, at the same time, in the 70s, the 80s, or whatever, I mean, as far back as dating goes, there's always been that danger that you come across somebody who is using a fake name or is violent or has a criminal record they didn't tell you about or something, But at least in the online world, you have a way maybe to warn other people or to check up on somebody to see if, hey, what is this person's background really like?
And it looks like the founder of T, Sean Cook, he's a software engineer. He's worked with some big companies. I mean, Salesforce, Shutterfly. He says he founded the company in 2022 after witnessing his own mother's terrifying experiences.
Right. His mom, I guess, was involved in online dating, and that she had some really awful experiences. And so he wanted to try to protect other women like his mom from, being catfished or being victims of crime, for heaven's sake. So, yeah, that was kind of his motivation here.
I feel like every couple of weeks there's a new big hack. And I think in the last maybe 6 months, I know, at least at home, I've gotten 3 letters from various things that I've used, in some cases, like a healthcare system that's gotten hacked. It just seems like nobody is really immune to this these days.
No, you're right. As long as there's somebody out there who's willing to give it a try, trying to hack into somebody's data, and I'm afraid that's going to keep happening. I don't know if there's any way to really set up a firewall against it. You can protect yourself, but I don't know if you can protect or guarantee that the app that you're using or the service you're using has protected itself.
All right, ABC's Jim Ryan. Thanks for the tea.
All right. See ya.
Thanks, Jim. You know what was the best about that after the interview? Explaining to Jim. I was like, wait, Jim, do you know that phrase, spill the tea? I thought he would. He's usually pretty up on things, but he goes, no, and tell me, because I had another hit out in New York and somebody said spill the tea and was kind of, so I got to explain that spill the tea is like, sometimes people use it as like, give me the gossip.
Right.
But also sometimes it's just like the sensitive information. So it's kind of like, spill the goods, Jim, give us the information.
You taught Jim something new today.
I know.
Now he knows.
He was like, I wish I would have had this interview first. Oh, we love Jim Ryan. That's great. Coming up, how much are those oranges?
Hey, boaters! Truly the best supplier around for all of our boating needs. This place is magic. I call it my candy store for boating parts. This is Dave Doyle from Kendor Marine. And yeah, I said it, but these are the actual words of our satisfied and loyal customers. Boaters in the know exactly where to go, and there's a reason. We've got it all for our boater buddies. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin. Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water. Hey, boaters! Now, I wasn't eavesdropping. I just happened to overhear him talking about us. He said if you know what you're looking for, just rummage around. You'll find it. And it's true, because we stock more boat parts and accessories than anyone. Even those oddball parts you thought you'd never find. This is Dave Doro, and boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin. Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
It's Gina Della. You've heard me define what makes Pella Windows and Doors different. Let me introduce you to the woman behind the billboards, commercials, and share my extraordinary journey of resilience, reinvention, and shattering glass ceilings every Saturday morning at 6:30 on 620 WTMJ and anywhere you stream podcasts for What's the Difference with Gina Della to discuss business coaching across all industries, featuring successful executives, entrepreneurs, and mentors along the way. This is a story you won't want to miss.
When you're at State Fair this year, be sure to check out the Bank 5-9 Amphitheater, State Fair's largest free entertainment venue, featuring acts like Here Come the Mummies, Hair Bangers Ball, and Pat McCurdy. Bank 5-9 is a proud sponsor of the fair and a proud supporter of the local Wisconsin communities they've served since 1859. So grab your bucket of lemonade or beer, something on a stick, and join Bank 5-9 between July 31st and August 10th. Member FDIC.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
You've heard of surge pricing, right?
Oh, yeah.
Uber is well known for it. If it's a busy Friday night, you're trying to catch a ride, you might have to pay more because the demand is high. You might see this after a Brewers game on the weekend. I know I've seen it after Bucks games. Well, what if your grocery store started using surge pricing? There's only one grocery store chain in Norway right now that uses digital shelf labels to display prices, allowing it to change prices hundreds of times a day. But electronic labels are spreading to grocery chains throughout the U.S. and Europe, allowing stores to instantly raise or lower prices.
Yes, dynamic pricing could be coming to a grocery store near you as more and more stores in the U.S. swap out price stickers for electronic shelf labels. There are concerns that this could lead to surge pricing. Think Uber and Lyft during rush hour or airfares or concert tickets.
They are sneaking food prices up again.
So far, it hasn't happened here. Grocery chains say they don't want to upset customers and have them be shopping at a competitor, but it could be just a matter of time.
I see good food at competitive prices.
Christopher Cruz, CBS News.
That's the thing. They don't want to make us mad, but you never know. It could change, and they're saying that this could happen, and it could happen soon. The Wall Street Journal reports, by the way, Walmart has digital shelf labels in more than 400 of its nearly 4,600 stores here in the U.S., and plans to put them in half of their stores soon. You would have to think if grocery stores here in the U.S. start doing surge pricing, it would be like Saturday afternoons or right after work when tons of people are trying to pick up something quickly for dinner or grab something they forgot earlier in the week.
I even think, too, like football Sundays, people are like going to get stuff to, make a little spread. Maybe the prices, if they like, let's hike them up because we know people are coming in to get their appetizers and stuff.
Well, and the thing is, too, I mean, you talk about surge pricing, so you think about the prices going up. But if you think about dynamic pricing, that also means if there's not a big demand, that they can bring the prices down. So I know there aren't many of you out there, but if you're not a Packers fan, like that's the time to go to the grocery store when the game is on.
Yeah.
So then if this were to happen, go to the grocery store during the Packers game, you probably get some deals too. Nobody else is in the store.
If this starts happening, it's going to rub people the wrong way.
Oh, I know. We'll see. 1:58 is the time. Coming up next, top local headlines right after this.
Doing banking differently since 1896. Greg Matzik here for Horicon Bank. Think about that for a second. Over 100 years of focus on the community and your business. At Horicon Bank, financing requests can be approved in days, not weeks, because your banker understands you and your business. And yes, Horicon Bank is expanding, but they've not lost that community-minded feel. I trust Horicon Bank. I've connected with Horicon Bank, and I invite you to do the same. It's Horicon Bank, truly the natural choice, member FDIC.
It's there all day, and it never goes away. I hate pain. It robs us of so much. But if you take action today, your pain could be gone tomorrow. Because at Rejuvenex, we harness the power of Toradol and hyaluronic acid to calm the inflammation and cushion joints. Rejuvenex treatments are safe, they're FDA approved, and in most cases, insurance, including Medicare and Medicaid, pays for them. At as low as $65 per injection per joint, our treatments are affordable. It's not a gimmick. It's pharmacological medicine administered in office in a simple and convenient manner. And with it, our patients have been able to avoid risky surgery and begin to stop the onset of arthritis. I'm Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas, and here we've made pain treatment as easy and affordable as it can be.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
The leader in the dugout, the skipper, The man who riles up the crew with his words of inspiration.
You mean my old ass? Is that what you're saying?
Yep, that's our guy. Brewers manager Pat Murphy joins Wisconsin's Morning News every Tuesday at 8:45 for Brewers 360.
We're a team that the other team's going to feel us. You know, you're not going to walk away from a series and not be felt. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Brewers 360 is sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited and Big Fish Contracting.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Armstrong can run. Stolen bases on the air. There he goes.
In this race for first place, there's no room for error.
Throw to second. Is right on the back. They got him. Oh, wow. William Contreras cuts down Pete Crow Armstrong.
It's the Brewers and the Cubs in an NL Central standoff. This series is sponsored by IKEA Oak Creek. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:05 on the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It is 2:01. I'm Jessica Tighe. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Monday, July 28th. Your top story, looking to the Supreme Court to take up her case.
I'm Neil Doyle, in for Greg Matzik, ending up in the Mississippi River after their boat exploded.
A heat advisory is in effect until 8 o'clock tonight. We also have a chance for rain and storms this evening, mostly cloudy and humid otherwise. We'll dip down to 72 for the low tonight. Chance for rain and storms again tomorrow morning, high of 87 on Tuesday. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, lawyers for Jeffrey Epstein's former companion just submitted a new filing before the Supreme Court as they aim to get Ghislaine Maxwell's conviction on sex trafficking charges overturned. ABC's Stephen Portnoy has the latest.
Lawyers for Ghislaine Maxwell argue she should have been covered by the same non-prosecution agreement that Jeffrey Epstein struck with federal prosecutors in Florida nearly 2 decades ago. That 2007 deal had Epstein agreeing to plead guilty in state court, where he received an 18-month sentence. But despite the agreement, federal prosecutors in New York brought charges against Epstein in 2019 and against Maxwell a year later after his suicide. The same Justice Department that's been aiming to get more information from Maxwell is at the same time fighting her Supreme Court appeal.
The top Democrat on the Senate Judiciary Committee is now calling on the Justice Department to release transcripts and recordings from last week's interviews with Maxwell.
2 people are dead and at least 3 others hospitalized after a shooting at a casino in Reno, Nevada. Officials say a gunman opened fire just outside the Grand Sierra Resort Casino in the Valet area around 7:30 this morning. The gunman was taken into custody and is being treated at a hospital. A spokesperson for Renown Regional Medical Center says the hospital's emergency department received several patients with gunshot wounds.
A woman found guilty of killing her cellmate at Tighe Correctional Institution in Fond du Lac will spend the rest of her life behind bars.
Taylor Sanchez claimed she had been hearing voices when she beat 68-year-old Cindy Schultz Juarez to death in 2023. While sentencing Sanchez to life without parole Monday, the judge noted the attack was, quote, wholly vicious. Sanchez pled no contest last month to avoid a trial. During the investigation, she told authorities she was off her medication at the time of Schultz Juarez's death, who Sanchez believed had used her toothbrush to scrub a toilet. Schultz Juarez had been serving life in prison for the death of her husband in 2006. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Multiple people are recovering after a boat explosion in Pierce County. It happened Saturday near Prescott in the northwestern part of the state. After the boat's operator tried to start the engine twice, it exploded on the third try. 11 passengers were ejected into the Mississippi River. The boat then drifted into a second boat and caused a fire to spread before being extinguished. 8 people were treated for injuries. The incident remains under investigation.
Milwaukee police are frustrated over what they call unacceptable wage offers from the city.
Milwaukee police officers say they've had enough, and union leaders say the frustration is boiling over.
They're pissed. I mean, they go to social media, they call our office, and they are just as frustrated, if not more.
President of the Milwaukee Police Association, Alexander Ayala, tells WTMJ.
We cannot strike. We still have to come to work and protect the city of Milwaukee, which we love doing, but you're not paying us our fair wages. But then we see everybody else getting their contract settled or getting raises, except us.
Negotiations between the police union and the city of Milwaukee remain at a standstill. Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
Hear the whole interview on WTMJ Conversations Sunday at 11.
Time for news about your money. Here's the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow down 119 points at 44,775. S&P down 9 points as well, 6,379. The NASDAQ up 32, sitting at 21,141. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
The Cubbies come to town today. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 2:05.
And that's why you should never trust a raccoon wearing a necktie.
What are you doing, Arvid?
Telling Nicole a joke.
Here?
At Penny Mustard?
No, I mean here, next to the Theon dining room table.
What's wrong with that?
This is no laughing matter. The Theon table is proper, stoic, and no nonsense.
It has good table manners.
Come on, act with dignity.
The Theon brings something to the table.
Stop that.
And those Herald chairs are so friendly, they always have your back.
Can we please focus on the Theon table's American-made craftsmanship and solid wood construction?
You would not believe how sturdy this table is.
Be serious.
All right, Ben.
Let's table this discussion until later.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Come see the Theon table, paired with 6 Herald chairs, starting at $47.95 at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Serious versions of what people want.
Penny Mustard Furnishing.
Tony Evers and the Madison Democrats are too weak and too radical. But the same old career politicians can't stop them.
I'm Bill Berrien, a former Navy SEAL and Wisconsin manufacturer. I'm an outsider and a businessman, just like President Trump. I'm running for governor to advance the Trump agenda, shake up Madison, and put Wisconsin citizens first.
Let's fire the bureaucrats. Hire the outsider. Bill Berrien for governor. Paid for by Bill for Governor.
Vince Vitrano here for Connect Chiropractic. Get your aches and pains under control and bring back your energy. Whether it's headaches, neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, time and repetition is key to staying on the right track. I've been seeing Dr. Alex and his team for 2 years now. No twisting, no cracking, no popping. Connect Chiropractic uses a special tool that is targeted and effective, yet pain-free and gentle. In Delafield and Wauwatosa, and the new location on Rawson Avenue in Oak Creek. Get started at GoConnectChiro.com.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. The Brewers picking up a win in the series finale against the Marlins, 3-2.
Fly ball center field. That is going to do it and then some. Perkins walks it off against the Marlins.
Jeff Levering's call. Blake Perkins wasn't even starting the game on Sunday as the Brewers salvaged the finale 3-2. His manager, Pat Murphy.
It was emotional for me to see Perk come through right there. I mean, that was huge.
And for Perkins, after missing the first 3.5 months of the year.
You know, these moments, I don't ever really feel like it's going to be me in the spot. To come through, man, it's such an incredible feeling. It's just special, man. It's, you're right, it's been a long year, and this is pretty cool.
From American Family Field, I'm Dominic Cotroneo.
And the Crew starting a big 3-game series with the Cubs tonight at American Family Field. Our coverage starting at 6:05 right here on WTMJ.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic. Handful of disabled vehicles out in the system. One in Kenosha County, one in Racine County, and another in Ozaukee County. Let's start in Kenosha County first right now. 4194 North, very close to County C. Right shoulder is blocked due to a car that's broken down. Up from that in Racine County, 4194 North, right around the ramp from Wisconsin 20. The left shoulder is blocked there because of a car that's broken down, and traffic is pretty heavy right now, but it's not necessarily slowing down because of it. Also up in Ozaukee County, I-43 North, little bit beyond the ramp from Wisconsin 60. Right shoulder is blocked there because of another car that's broken down.
Here's the WTMJ 5-day forecast. Heat advisory in effect until 8 o'clock tonight. Cloudy, humid conditions, and we'll see again the high around 90, but heat indices could get up around 100. Tonight, chances for maybe some showers and storms. Will be cloudy and humid this evening, low of 72. Tomorrow, some shower and storm chances early in the day. Will be mostly cloudy, high of 87. Wednesday, could still see chances for a few showers and storms. Will be cooler with a high of 76. Thursday, sunny and breezy, high of 77. Mostly sunny on Friday with a high of 77 degrees. Right now, 85 degrees in Milwaukee.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Tighe, and in for Greg Matzik, it's Neil Doyle.
Happy Monday, everybody. Greg is out golfing. It's one of his favorite pastimes. If he's not with the family, I think he wants to be out golfing. But he'll be back tomorrow. We've got Neil Doyle joining us, which we love. I just asked him, though, because full disclosure, Neil is originally from Illinois. You know, we've got the Cubs coming to play tonight. So I was like, wait, are you a Cubs fan?
No Cubs blood in me. I am a White Sox fan. Grew up in the south suburbs of Chicago, so I have always had a hatred towards the Cubs, and yeah, I don't want to see them do anything very good the next 3 days.
Okay.
Let's go Brewers.
So yes, you also, even though you're from Illinois, you want to see the Brewers win tonight, like we all do. And I have to ask too, because I think it's great. Milwaukee and southeastern Wisconsin, we've got so much going on here, especially in the summer. So as somebody who is newer to the area, were you able to check out anything new over the weekend that really excited you and thought, this is just fun to be here?
Yeah, no, my couple months being up here, it's been great. Saturday went to the Brady Street Festival, so got to experience that for the first time. Just an all-out fun community party celebration. The whole street obviously shut down, a bunch of vendors out there. It was a really cool atmosphere, a couple different stages, some very good musical acts. So, yeah, experienced Brady Street Festival for the first time, and I will certainly be back next year.
And Brady Street any day is an experience.
Yes.
And it's a good one. Here's the thing about southeastern Wisconsin, and Wisconsin as a whole, it doesn't matter how old you get, how long you've been here, there's always something new. This weekend, even though I grew up in Milwaukee and have been here for a long time, I also went to something for the first time.
Oh.
I went to go see a Lakeshore Chinooks game. And the reason I bring this up is it was a cool experience. You look out there at Nozaki County, you look out to the lake. It was beautiful. It was fun to see some baseball. But can I just tell you, they rebranded for a couple games. I'm not sure how many games, but they rebranded to the Beer Bellies.
Nice.
And how Wisconsin is that?
Oh, yeah.
I went up. They were playing the Wausau Woodchucks, and I went up to one of the guys, and I was like, you ever play the Beer Bellies before? He just laughed. Oh, Wisconsin, we love you. We do. Let's get to some of your top stories.
Here's your top 2 at 2 on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number 1, scaling back the search. Investigators say a decline in new leads is prompting them to cut down on search efforts for a Pewaukee native accused of killing his own daughters. Travis Decker was the subject of a major manhunt starting in early June after his 3 young girls were found dead near a campground in Washington state. The criminal investigation is still going on, but the lead team investigating in Washington state says there's been an exhaustive search of several areas. In late June, authorities acknowledged Decker may have died while evading local law enforcement. The U.S. Marshals Service is still offering a reward. It's up to $20,000 for information that leads to Decker's arrest. An autopsy confirmed Decker's girls died by suffocation.
Number 2, ATV and UTV fatal crashes on the rise in Wisconsin. As residents and summer visitors alike are enjoying Wisconsin's trails and back roads, state officials are reminding UTV riders to focus on safe operations. DNR says so far this year, there have been 23 fatal UTV and ATV crashes in the state. 5 of those individuals were wearing seatbelts at the time of the crash, but others were not. UTVs also have been involved in a majority of the fatal accidents that have happened this year, about 86% of them. DNR is urging riders wear a seatbelt, as Wisconsin law actually states all UTV passengers are required to wear a seatbelt. Officials also reminding parents and guardians that Wisconsin law restricts youth UTV use. Operators have to be at least 16 to operate full-size UTV vehicles in public areas.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 2:13. Coming up next, what we know about the stabbings at a Walmart in Michigan as a suspect faces terrorism charges.
Oh, boy, it's getting so expensive to dine out, but not at the Mind Chef restaurant in Hartford. WTMJ's John Mercure here. The Mind Chef is family-owned, understands inflation hurts. Every Monday when you buy one pizza, you get a second pizza absolutely free. Any size, any quantity. You buy one, get one free. Buy two, get two free. Buy 10 pizzas, get 10 free pizzas. Business owners, managers, bring in pizza for your hardworking employees and your key clients. They're going to love it because it's delicious pizza, and your second pizza's free, saving your company a ton of money. Bring your family in today for free pizza. Your kids will love that world-class game room, the Mine Shaft in beautiful downtown Hartford and near EAA in Oshkosh, just off the interstate. Lots of seating, lots of close parking, no need to cook. Don't think about cleaning today. Mondays can be tough enough. Buy one pizza, get one free at the Mine Shaft. Plenty to take home for tomorrow. Desserts, and I love their desserts, are also buy one, get one free. Just walk in today for your free Monday pizza, mineshaftrestaurant.com.
My overall experience with Gruber Law Offices has been phenomenal.
The treatment was excellent.
They will be supportive of you. They will listen to you.
It was a great experience knowing that I had people to help me.
I know I could count on them to do what I needed to get done.
Experience with Gruber was great.
They gave me my life back.
It was amazing.
He gets results.
We know how to win. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Gruber Law Offices had my best interests at heart.
You should be listening to Wisconsin's Midday News with Greg Matzik and Jessica Tighe each weekday.
Fascinatingly, a growing number of people are resorting to hocus pocus to get what they want. Okay, you doing this? Would you do $3?
No.
How about 300?
I think it's odd, but apparently a lot of people don't.
But if you missed us, catch up anytime with our Wisconsin's Midday News podcast. Powered by Siding Unlimited. It's siding and a whole lot more.
So subscribe, take us with you wherever you go.
It is 2:16 on this Monday afternoon. Police in Michigan are working to find a motive after a mass stabbing attack at a Walmart over the weekend. 11 people were hurt on Saturday at a Walmart store in Traverse City. Police say the 42-year-old suspect entered the location, so he goes into the store and apparently just started attacking people randomly with a knife. No one was killed, thank goodness. At least right now, we know that everybody's still alive. We'll keep our fingers crossed that remains that way. The suspect is in custody and will likely be charged with terrorism and assault charges. CBS's Lana Zach spoke with an eyewitness. Listen to this.
She made her way to the front of the store, and that's where she said she saw people with stab wounds, blood on the floor, as well as one elderly person who was slumped over in a motorized shopping cart. She was able to make it outside safely. That was the same moment then that police rushed in.
Yikes. And here's the latest on the victims.
All 11 stabbing victims are expected to survive, according to the health authorities here. One has already been released, and the head of the hospital says that they're optimistic that they will continue to release people potentially as soon as today.
Fingers crossed. So, I mean, isn't this just one of those frightening things that you go about your day? You're going to Walmart, you're going to Target, you're going to the grocery store, just looking at your list, think it's going to be any other time, and then boom, something like this happens. It's just frightening.
And I saw videos on social media over the weekend of even just people who were arriving kind of after this all took place. And obviously there was a lot of kind of pandemonium and kind of chaos in the parking lot as people were, rushing out of the store. So, yeah, crazy situation and certainly hoping the best for all of those who were involved.
So I mentioned that this guy is in custody. So here's what happened, because some of you are probably like, okay, well, who got the suspect and what happened there? Well, the suspect initially was actually subdued by shoppers and then was taken into custody when a deputy finally got to the scene. So right now he faces charges of assault with intent to murder and terrorism. So who is this guy? We're digging into some details about him. Sheriff's deputies in Emmett County, Michigan, were actually searching for this man Friday night and Saturday morning because they had just received a court order instructing deputies to take him into custody. We don't know all the details about that court order yet, but we do know, one, there was a court order, and two, you had deputies on Friday night and Saturday morning searching for this guy, but they couldn't find him. He is apparently homeless. He has no known physical address in that particular county that anybody knows about. That's according to the order. But then, so you've got less than 24 hours after the deputies received that order to go and find that man, you have this tragic series of events that happened in Traverse City at this Walmart. It's just frightening. I guess this guy does have a prior record of assault incidents and apparently some controlled substance violations. So
And
The
at
guy
this point,
has had run-ins.
we don't know what the motive was at this point. I don't think I've seen any reporting on that yet.
Yeah, motive in the stabbing remains unclear,
Yeah.
which is even more frightening, right? You're just walking into the store trying to do, get what you need to get and get out of there. And then you just have this guy who comes in with a knife and starts attacking people, stabbing people randomly, from what everyone has gathered. Michigan officials right now seeking a terrorism charge in addition to 11 counts of assault with intent to murder, 11 counts for those 11 people who are hopefully, going to make it through all this. Right now, everybody survived, but there are serious injuries, and we'll see if any of those people get released from the hospital today. It is 2:19. Coming up next, to Oz we go.
Hey, boaters, cruise to Kendor Marine. We've got everything you need but the water. Got an old boat, a new boat in between. Kendor Marine. Upholstery and parts, hard to find things. Kendor Marine. Hey, boaters, cruise to Kendor Marine. We've got everything you need but the water. Everything you need but the water. Hey, boaters, cruise to Kendor Marine. We've got everything you need but the water. Like a boat-loving kid in a candy store. Kendor Marine. If you have a question, we have the expertise at Kendor Marine. Hey, boaters, cruise to Kendor Marine. We've got everything you need but the water.
Easy to find at 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin or at KendorMarine.com.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
It is currently 90 degrees in Milwaukee. A few clouds out there. 90 degrees, but the humidity is making it feel worse. We are under a heat advisory until 8 o'clock tonight.
Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow, 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 follow the yellow brick road.
1 month from today, a movie premiere that promises to be like no other. CBS's Steve Tighe has the details.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
The new Las Vegas Sphere is getting ready for The Wizard of Oz. CEO Jim Doyle promises a total immersive experience.
Try and bring you into the film as if you were in the studio when it was shot. That's kind of what you're going to see.
Shot in 16K with 167,000 speakers, people who pay $104 a pop will feel the wind of the tornado that lifts Dorothy away to Oz.
I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
Reports say the cost to make it all happen is $80 million. Steve Tighe, CBS News.
How cool is that going to be, though? A classic now viewable in a high-tech way at the Sphere in Vegas.
I love it.
I was at... but what was it? Maybe, I want to say like a year and a half ago, I was in Vegas with my husband and my dad, and the Sphere was something new, and I'd never seen it. I'm like, ooh, that looks really cool. I would love to see a concert there, but it was one of those times where they were just showing the movie, which I've heard mixed reviews about.
Yeah.
Some people think you gotta go, it's great, and other people are like, not so much, but I would love to see a concert in there. I know U2 is there right now. Kenny Chesney has been there in the past. But this would be really cool. The Wizard of Oz, just such a classic. Do you remember the first time you saw Wizard of Oz?
Yeah, I'm thinking back on it. I was a young child, but I remember I watched it the first time. I think I was at my grandparents' house, so watched it with them. I think it was one of their, go-tos. My grandpa got very, very into it. But then I was telling you as well, with obviously Wicked that came out last year, the big movie with Ariana
huge.
Grande,
Yeah.
and so there was a lot of, kind of Wizard of Oz talk. But I was talking to a couple of people earlier in the year, And it got brought up, and they were like, "Oh, I've never actually seen the original Wizard of Oz." And I'm like, "How is that possible? How have you not seen it?"
How old were they?
I mean, they're in their early 30s, mid 30s.
Okay,
I'm like,
yeah, that
and I
surprised me
get,
a little.
not everybody's into movies and whatnot, but I'm like, how have you not seen the Wizard of Oz? It's a classic.
I tend to say I don't really have favorites. Like, I don't necessarily have a favorite actor. Some people would say I have a favorite color. I don't know. Maybe I have two. So I don't know that I have a favorite movie, but I would say that The Wizard of Oz is definitely up there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of those. I don't like to watch movies more than once, but I've definitely seen The Wizard of Oz more than once. And I don't know if any of you remember this. I would love to hear from you on the talk and text line if you do, but I remember going to see Wizard of Oz at the Melody Top here in the Milwaukee area when I was a kid. And Melody Top was so cool. It was this place, Neil, that it looked like you were going to the circus. It had this red and white striped circus-style tent, and it was around from 1963 to 1986. So I was a young one. My Uncle Dan took me to go see Wizard of Oz at the Melody Top, but it had a handful of musicals each summer, brought in some great actors. Betty White even performed at the Melody Top once. But then, like many things, habits changed, competition increased, and boom, Melody Top closed. But I'll never forget seeing The Wizard of Oz performed at the Melody Top here in Milwaukee.
I'm curious, too, with them, bringing this to the Vegas sphere, will they bring back some other kind of old movie classics, like Willy Wonka, maybe, do something like that? I'm like,
that could be fun at the
I'm curious if they'll continue to do that, depending on how some of this goes.
Yeah, that's a whole new world down in Vegas at the Sphere. It is 2:25, coming up on 2:26. 27, 28, 29, 30, you got it. We're coming up with local news in just a bit here and your top national headlines as well.
If you're feeling vibrations in your steering wheel after reaching speeds of over 50 miles per hour, you should bring it into Richlands and let us fix it for you.
If your brakes are making weird noises or feel strange every time you apply them, you should bring it into Richlands and let us fix it for you.
If your engine light is on, you should bring it to Richlands.
And let us fix it for you, because there isn't an auto service repair job on the planet that our service techs can't fix.
Courtney's right. Just check out some of our Google reviews. A whole lot of stars means a whole lot of happy customers.
Proof's in the pudding. So whether you need factory scheduled maintenance
or tires, brakes, and suspension service, we've got your back.
5 conveniently located facilities, all AAA approved,
and all staffed by ASE certified technicians. I'm Brett Matschke, and the next time you're due for service,
bring it into Richlands and let us fix it for you.
Richlands Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richlands.
Point taken with Scafidi and Bry.
If you were a self-identified fascist, is that more than just a political belief?
It's an amazing question.
Is it good or bad to be having these conversations?
Should we give them the airtime? Right?
And I think the problem is pretending that it doesn't exist.
If it stays in the shadows, it grows. And those kinds of beliefs, that kind of hate, gets worse.
Weekdays from 10 to noon on WTMJ.
Cheese doodles, Mr. Nougat Bar. Oh, here we go. 4-door hatchback.
Some things are fine to buy from a vending machine, but a car's not one of them. That national online company makes it seem convenient, but it won't be so convenient if you have a problem with the vehicle you buy. And if it's after 7 days, good luck. Adam member dealers also let you search online, plus test drive the vehicle before you buy it. And they're right here to handle any issues.
But the car's stuck. No!
Start your search at adamm.com.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 255368.
At Wisconsin's own Accunet Mortgage, our closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 less than the banks or the mortgage guys with the Rocket for exactly the same rate. Find out how much you can save at accunet.com.
The Upswing with Jeff Sherman.
Your top tip for someone applying for a creative marketing job.
If you're looking at opportunities and you don't have that skill set, go get it. It has never been easier to go get that certificate, to keep learning. The other piece of that is you cannot be in this industry any longer without having solid math skills in some respect.
Saturdays at 11 on WTMJ. Presented by Horicon Bank, the natural choice for all your banking needs.
Hey, this is WTMJ's Steve Scavidi here to talk about my brand new show, WTMJ Outdoors. We love the outdoors in the great state of Wisconsin and beyond. We're going to talk with outdoors experts, bicycling, resort owners, rock climbers, hunting and fishing, camping, all things Wisconsin outdoors. Join us every Saturday, 2 to 3, right here on 620 WTMJ.
It's WTMJ Outdoors, presented by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
Just about 2:30. I'm Jessica Tighe. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Monday, July 28th. Your top story, advocating for missing black women.
I'm Neil Doyle in for Greg Matzik. Priorities with his time left in office.
Talking about the weather today. It was a hot weekend, wasn't it? Hot and steamy.
Warm, to say the least.
I was talking about going to my first Lakeshore Chinooks game yesterday. Those seats, woo! I don't typically wear shorts much either, but I wore them because it would be so hot.
Right.
You wanted to stay cool. That seat on your legs. Oh, man. It was a fun time, but it was a hot day. It is hot again today. It's not as bad as forecasters were thinking it was going to be. Meteorologist Kristen Kershane, we talked with her about a half hour ago, and they said, you know what? It's looking a little bit better than it was, but we're sitting at 90 degrees right now, so it is still hot. A few clouds in downtown Milwaukee. Bottom line, though, the most important thing to know is we do have a heat advisory that is in effect until 8 o'clock tonight. Tonight, we also have a chance for showers and storms, mostly cloudy and humid otherwise. We'll dip down to 72 for the low. And then tomorrow, we have a chance for rain and storms, mostly cloudy otherwise. A high of 87 tomorrow. Wednesday, a high of just 76.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. 2 Israeli humanitarian groups said today for the first time Israel is carrying out a genocide in Gaza, where there are reports of children dying from malnourishment. Dr. Nick Maynard's a volunteer surgeon and says,
I saw multiple gunshot wounds inflicted on young teenage boys, sometimes as young as 11, 12, 13, who go to these food distribution points to get food for their starving families.
Today, President Trump disputed a claim from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu that there is no starvation. The president discussed building food distribution centers. He met with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer as he continues his trip overseas. He's in Scotland. But in the U.S., a federal judge in Boston blocked his administration's plans to block funding for Planned Parenthood, writing it likely violates the Constitution. Football legend Deion Sanders revealed he's been treated for bladder cancer. The University of Colorado head coach urged people to get checked. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 2:31. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, bringing attention to missing or murdered black women in Wisconsin. Sheena Scarborough is the mother of Shawnae Robinson, the 19-year-old who was murdered and dismembered in Milwaukee last year. She's working with State Representative Sheila Stubbs to reintroduce a bill to create the Missing and Murdered African-American Women and Girls Task Force. A similar proposal died in committee 4 years ago, but activists say they're committed to getting it through the State House this time. Maxwell Anderson, the man convicted of Robinson's murder, will be sentenced on Friday.
Governor Tony Evers may be leaving office, but he's got a few hopes for whoever takes his place.
Continue to advocate for our public schools, the University of Wisconsin system, and the technical college system. We have to have a governor that is going to be embroiled with figuring out how our correctional system works. I would say those are the top priorities.
Evers won't seek a third term, but says he's focused on finishing strong through 2026. Lieutenant Governor Sarah Rodriguez is the only confirmed Democratic candidate in the field. Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley has said he plans to begin his campaign in the weeks ahead.
Hundreds of military mothers gather for the Blue Star Bomb Convention in Milwaukee.
This week in Milwaukee, hundreds of military moms are trading stories, offering support, and honoring service at the National Blue Star Mothers Convention.
The families suffer isolation, confusion, don't know what's going on, nobody checks in with them, but they hope that their heroes are happy.
One of them is Sherry Hudson, who says being surrounded by fellow moms who understand the weight of military life is powerful.
Freedom, it costs, but I never knew it cost from the mom side.
Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
A Wisconsin high school freshman is the state's first young athlete to ink a name, image, likeness, or NIL deal. Darcy Doyle is a standout lacrosse player at the University School of Milwaukee. Doyle is committed to Northwestern University and will promote legal education for young adults through social media. Any NIL deal must strictly follow WIAA rules, or athletes risk losing eligibility.
The Wisconsin Department of Health confirms the first case of West Nile virus in the state in 2025. The human case was reported in Barron County, but mosquitoes from Milwaukee and Lafayette counties have also tested positive for the virus. West Nile virus spreads through infected mosquitoes and most people don't have any symptoms after infection. Older adults and people with compromised immune systems are at a greater risk of developing severe illness that can be fatal.
Coming up, a big 3-game series between the Brewers and Cubs. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 2:34.
Doing banking differently since 1896. Greg Matzik here for Horicon Bank. Think about that for a second. Over 100 years of focus on the community and your business. At Horicon Bank, financing requests can be approved in days, not weeks, because your banker understands you and your business. And yes, Horicon Bank is expanding, but they've not lost that community-minded feel. I trust Horicon Bank. I've connected with Horicon Bank, and I invite you to do the same. It's Horicon Bank, truly the natural choice, member FDIC.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
When people think sleep apnea, they think CPAP. Now at Advent, we do all we can to help sleep apnea sufferers avoid the CPAP machine. And most sleep apnea sufferers who come to Advent are going to be able to avoid a CPAP altogether. Our unique Advent approach using simple in-office solutions can get your nose working and throat open all under one roof. You see, the root of every snoring and obstructive sleep apnea problem lies within the throat, nose, or both. At Advent, we know when we get the nose and throat working properly, most snoring and sleep apnea problems will subside. And we have the most simple and convenient, ultra-effective in-office solutions that can do just that. And this is why people have traveled by planes, trains, and automobiles from corners of the world you would never think of to find the sleep apnea and snoring relief you won't find elsewhere.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
Progressive Insurance, with insurance for cars, home, boat, motorcycles, RVs, and commercial vehicles at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. Former Milwaukee Brewer and Cy Young Award winner CC Sabathia inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Thank you to the baseball writers. Thank you to the fans out there. And thank you most of all to the great players sitting behind me. I am so proud and humbled to join you as a Hall of Famer. Even Ichiro, who stole my Rookie of the Year award in 2001.
Joining Sabathia in the 2025 Hall of Fame class, Ichiro Suzuki, Billy Wagner, Dave Parker, and Dick Allen. Sabathia played 19 years in the league, including the 2008 season with the Brewers. And speaking of the crew, a big 3-game set coming up, and that starts tonight with the Chicago Cubs at American Family Field. Both teams tied atop the NL Central standings. Our coverage tonight for Game 1 starting at 6:05 right here on WTMJ.
Let's get you an update on the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Our construction zones, they are slow on this Monday. In fact, very slow. If we start with 43 first, that construction zone, it is very slow right now. Good Hope Road down to Hampton. On 41, very similar story on our construction zone on 41. Good Hope through Hampton, very slow. Gets a little bit better after Hampton, and then it clears up around Burleigh. Once again, no crashes there. It's just you got the construction barrels out and people are driving slow. We do have a couple of disabled vehicles out of the system, including this one in Ozaukee County, I-43 North, just a little bit beyond Highway 60. Right shoulder is blocked there because of a disabled vehicle. Also in Racine County, 4194 North, a little bit beyond the ramp from Wisconsin 20, Highway 20, left shoulder blocked there due to a car that's broken down. And then we also have one in Kenosha County, 4194 North, right around County C. The right shoulder is blocked in that case due to another car that's broken down.
Here's the WTMJ 5-day forecast. Heat advisory still in effect, and that's in effect until 8 o'clock tonight. Warm and humid conditions this afternoon. We'll see a chance for showers and storms into the evening. Will be cloudy tonight, low of 72. Tomorrow, some shower storm chances early in the day, mostly cloudy, high of 87. Wednesday, still a slight chance for maybe some showers and storms. Will be cooler Wednesday, high of 76. Sunny and breezy on Thursday with a high of 77. Mostly sunny on Friday with a high of 77. In Milwaukee right now, it's 86 degrees.
headline in Fortune magazine grabbed my attention. It said sellers are yanking houses off the market rather than stomach further price cuts. I had a feeling that was happening here in southeastern Wisconsin from what I've witnessed recently, so I reached out to Chris Corley with Corley Real Estate to confirm. Welcome to the studio, Chris.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
So is this happening here in Milwaukee? Are people just taking homes off the market because they are fed up with price cuts? What are you seeing?
Definitely taking them off the market or exploring the rental options to see if that's a possibility without having to take a further price cut. Usually right now they're going to hold on to it for a little bit longer to see if that spring, summer season can hold on, but very quickly you'll start seeing a lot come off the market.
So what is going on here? What's the cause?
Well, I think there's several different factors. A simple aspect is going to be higher interest rates. And then there's just a kind of a compounding effect of, we'll just say market uncertainty. Earlier this year, the beginning of the year, I was very optimistic, very bullish. And then as kind of April 1st, the tariff talk started, definitely saw a change in buyers, where they're a lot more in tune to prices, looking at what people paid for it in the past and trying to get a deal. Certain properties, certain neighborhoods definitely are going to see multiple offers still and, kind of higher demand, but on a much lower price point, than your $1 million plus.
And with, you said, buyers kind of being more inclined, is part of it too with buyers, or are they a little bit stretched thin? And even things like repairs and things like that, they don't want to pay for that. And that's why they're kind of steering away.
Sure. There's definitely aspects of that. I mean, things that are updated and, maintained properly are going to sell a lot better. Just with a higher interest rate, just takes away people's buying power, takes away their extra cash they have on hand. So to the repair aspect and to maintenance or updates, it just really restricts people, so they want to buy things that are updated, but then they also don't want to pay a premium for it anymore.
Are there still some sellers who expect pandemic era price levels?
Absolutely. Definitely. And, there's, one of the things I hear a lot from sellers are, for the last year, 2 years, 3 years, I've received letter after letter from realtors going, just give me a chance. I'll sell your place right away. I got buyers under the door. And now they go, okay, I put it on the market, and a week, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months go by, and they go, why hasn't this sold? They had very different expectations going into it.
And it seems like, too, I mean, the fact is you've got mortgage rates that are still so high. And then in some cases, like Milwaukee County, where I live, the taxes are so high, property taxes are so high. So at the end of the day, that all adds up.
Absolutely. And, I specialize kind of in the condo market. And in Milwaukee especially, there's nothing been built new in almost 15 years, 16 years. So buildings are getting older. Maintenance costs are going up. You're going to start seeing special assessments for repairs. So there's just a whole compound of issues. And then in my world a little bit, there's, 1,000 plus new apartments in town, that are giving incentives and deals to get people in the door, where a lot of sellers, back to your original comment, is they don't want to lower the price.
And speaking of those apartments, I mean, wow, some of these places, what are you seeing? I know you've heard, you've actually had people who have moved out, some older people who you wouldn't think would want to go into an apartment, who are now deciding to sell their homes for various reasons and are going into apartments. And they're really wowed by some of these places in the Milwaukee area.
Absolutely, definitely. There's the level of amenities is unprecedented in Milwaukee historically, from just pools, golf simulators, indoor bars, social networking rooms. There's just a whole plethora of different amenities that are now offered.
Those dog parks?
Dog parks, dog walks, rooftop patios. I mean, there's just a whole other options that, what I said earlier about condo buildings being old, I mean, a lot of them aren't built with those sort of amenities.
Is there any worry that, this will kind of continue, these delistings and kind of what we're seeing right now, or is there a light at the end of the tunnel? The market will kind of work itself out, but how are you feeling with that?
In my gut feeling says that probably through the rest of this year will be tough, and then I'm very optimistic that usually January 1, light switch goes up and the whole market changes. So I'm very optimistic for next year.
What's that experience like when you have a seller who wants to list for much higher? Because at the end of the day, you really are an expert in pricing. So when you have somebody who says, I really want to list it for this, but it shouldn't be, what is that experience like, and how do you advise those people?
It's a difficult situation. People's homes are their largest asset. People's homes are very personal, and they feel very strongly about their home and the value of their home. They don't necessarily want to listen to what the market says. People believe very strongly in what their home is worth. So a lot of times those situations, I will just say, this is my 2 cents. This is my realtor point of view. I'm going to put it out there. But I'm also a realtor, and this is how I make money, and this is how I get paid. And if somebody really wants to sell something, well, you don't want to lose the listing as well. So you got to try and find that little gray buffer area. So I usually just try and say, this is what I really think it should go for at the end of the day. But if you want to start here, we can try. There's definitely disadvantages to starting too high. But at the end of the day, you also want to get the listing.
Property tax assessments in Milwaukee County. Can we chat about that for a moment?
Sure.
What have you seen recently? Because I know when I got my assessment, and in the last couple of years, it's been going up, but this year it was like, woo! And I know it has been a shock for a lot of people.
Yep, definitely this year especially, and to our original conversation about values, values have not gone up. I think reported was Milwaukee average was like 17% in tax assessments this year. Values did not go up 17% last year. That's just a simple conversation. I've seen some people have 50% increases. Like I said, 50%.
50%.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you're talking about, your tax bill, you're assessed at say $600,000, all of a sudden the city now says you're at $1.2 million. Well, at 2.5% interest rate or 2.5% tax rate, that adds, $10,000. That's not chump change. That's a lot of money.
People do have the option to challenge that.
They do.
I've thought about in the past, have not done yet. I'm kind of thinking maybe I should have this past time. I know you recently challenged yours, and that's still in the process, but can you kind of walk us through? Because I know there are a lot of people listening who have thought about it or who might think about it in the future who don't really know how that works, and you just went through it.
Sure. It's a simple process, but it's a very time constraint period. So when you get your assessment in the mail, usually around middle of April, they give you a 20-day window where you can file and contest against your assessment.
That's not a lot of time.
No, it's not. And especially a lot of people, April, May, you're traveling. That's spring break time. Mail might not be your top priority. Next thing you get it, well, you didn't realize, you just lost a week or 2 weeks if you're on vacation. Then you're going to think about it. You're going to noodle on it. You're going to ask somebody, talk about it. Well, next thing you know, your 20 days are gone. So it can be a challenge in that aspect to meet those requirements. If you are able to file your contest by that point, then you're basically in the hands of the city. You wait for them to give you a call. They usually want to either talk to you or come out and visit your property, take a look at it, see if there's any updates been done, and then they go through their model and they reevaluate, and then within a month or so, they send you another letter, and once you get that letter, then you can have another discussion with them if you disagree again.
So right now you're in the waiting period.
You got it.
We're talking with Chris Corley from Corley Real Estate because I saw this interesting article the other day that was basically saying sellers are yanking houses off the market rather than stomach further price cuts. And I knew it was happening here in Milwaukee because I've seen it. I love looking at Zillow. And my husband and I have desperately outgrown our space. And so I look at Zillow all the time. And sometimes you're just like, wow. That's way too much for that house. And then sometimes you see cut. And then sometimes they just go off the market and then they just kind of sit there. But there was also an article recently in the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel that noted condos that sold for $1 million or more than $1 million in the city. It said condos were going for top dollar, and it featured 5 that had sold that month. My first thought was, well, this isn't anything new. Milwaukee has had $1 million condos here, but are there more selling for $1 million right now?
More than average? Right now, I just looked this morning, there is 18 condominiums priced at $1 million and above, and 1 has an accepted offer.
So what does that tell you? I guess it's kind of, in my mind, it could be twofold. It could be we've got more than $1 million condos up for sale right now because people are pricing things so high. Or is it that we really do have condos worth more than $1 million in Milwaukee now?
We definitely have. There's definitely condos worth over $1 million that are justified. There's buyers out there wanting those properties. I think last year there was 21 or 22 that sold for over $1 million. When I looked earlier this year, we were about on pace to meet that same number. So there's kind of twofold. There's a lot of inventory out there. There's a lot of people trying to get prices that are probably unrealistic, but there are some things that are still selling.
And I would say, for somebody that can afford $1 million condo, overall, though, in Milwaukee compared to other bigger cities and metros, I would say you're probably getting a pretty affordable bang for your buck for $1 million in Milwaukee compared to a New York or Chicago, possibly.
Sure. I'll just break it down in my world as price per square foot. The very highest end in Milwaukee it's probably ever sold is about $700 a square foot. Right now, there's properties in Lake Country, Ozaukee Country or Ozaukee County that are selling for over $1,000 a square foot. So they're alone. Minneapolis, I do a lot of business there and family there. New projects there will start at $1,000 a square foot. Big cities, Chicago, New York, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 a square foot aren't unrealistic. So there's a lot of room to grow here in Milwaukee.
There are a lot of people who think, okay, well, that would be lovely to have $1 million home, but that's never going to be on my bucket list. When it comes to more affordable homes, what are you seeing right now, and are those priced appropriately for the market?
There's always the same situation where sometimes, people think their property's worth a little bit more. They're trying to get a higher price. And I think at all price points, especially Milwaukee, people are very, price conservative. They're on Zillow. They're looking up and seeing what somebody paid for it before, looking to see if they've done any updates, trying to justify why is that price higher. And just because the market's gotten better, quote unquote, isn't necessarily a justification for a buyer to pay that price. So there's definitely buyers out there. It gets tough when you have these rental properties that are offering incentives that are a little bit more lucrative than you would get from a seller. And then you add in a 7% mortgage rates. I mean, if you got good credit, you can get that low. And high taxes, condo fees, different HOAs. So there's a kind of a compounding effect there why things are a little bit slower this year.
It just seems like such an interesting time right now in the housing market, because you have these people who are still pricing their homes so high and not getting anything and then taking them off. But then you do still have some people willing to pay a premium just to get that house or just to get into that great neighborhood.
100% completely true. So there's a lot of people out there.
There are a lot of people out there, without a doubt. Chris Corley with Corley Real Estate, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Enjoy a free dinner tonight and a must-see summer drive through the majestic and beautiful Kettle Moraine Forest to the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club. WTMJ's John Mercure here, serving world-class dinners for over 90 years in their up-north timbered and stone building. Buy one dinner, get one free 7 nights a week. Savor a choice porterhouse steak, the new shrimp and scallop stir-fry, a big fresh salad, steak and lobster, and any entree. Your second dinner is free. Desserts also. Buy one, get one free. Unwind with an old-fashioned. Choose from 20 bourbons, 100 wines, ice-cold beers. On the patio in the woods, then a free dinner in the 8 unique dining rooms. The Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of Holy Hill. A Top Choice Award winner for fine dining and most romantic restaurant. Enjoy a free early week dinner tonight. Beat the crowds. It's great food and great service. Tables are open. Escape from your kitchen. Call and reserve or Google Fox and Hounds Restaurant.
Looking for an e-bike? Shop Wheel and Sprocket and find rows and rows of bikes in a bunch of different styles and colors for you to see, touch, feel, and even test ride.
Visit wheelandsprocket.com for a location near you.
Life is short. Enjoy your ride.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. Did you hear the news? Did you hear the news about Siding Unlimited? They've done it again. Wisconsin's very own Siding Unlimited, local and family owned, has won their 5th national Pella Platinum Premier Certified Contractor of the Year award. It means Siding Unlimited is the best installer of Pella windows in the nation. For 5 years, it's Siding Unlimited, right there in Brookfield off Barker Road. Stop by their beautiful showroom, see what they can do for you. They can beautify your home's exterior with windows, roofing, siding, doors, you name it, expanding your outdoor living space. How about a patio with a pergola and a fire pit? That's what they've done for us. They can do decking projects as well. Siding Unlimited. Stop by the showroom and tell them I sent you. Visit sidingunlimited.com to see what they can do for you. Bring some pictures, bring some thoughts, bring some ideas to their wonderful showroom. Connect with this family-owned business in Waukesha and the best of the best when it comes to installation of high-quality products. sidingunlimited.com.
Hi, this is Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas. And you know, I'm a consumer just like you. And my ears perk up for pain relief messages just like you. But some of these ads...
Since I started taking this natural supplement, within weeks, my pain is completely gone.
I mean, come on. Give me a break. The truth is, there are imbalances in your body causing your pain. And there's physical therapy, which we are highly skilled at, that can improve imbalances. And there are alternative pain solutions. But not all of them are proven, safe, effective, or affordable. At Rejuvenex, the effectiveness of Toradol joined with hyaluronic acid has been proven. Our treatments are affordable, FDA approved, safe, and they're powerful medicines. They calm inflammation and cushion joints, and they can make your pain go away.
Rejuvenex. Alleviate your pain. Rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
A Delta Airlines pilot is in jail in Northern California, arrested by federal agents in the cockpit of the plane that landed in San Francisco. ABC's Alex Stone has the details.
34-year-old Delta Airlines first officer Rustam Bagwagar had just landed in San Francisco piloting the Boeing 757 from Minneapolis when federal agents stormed the plane and arrested him in uniform and on duty. The arrest links to a case out of Contra Costa County in Northern California. The sheriff's office says Bagwagar, who lives in Florida, has been the focus of an investigation since April, the case involving sex assault on a child. When detectives learned he would be landing in San Francisco, they had federal agents waiting to arrest him. Alex Stone, ABC News.
Wow, imagine being a passenger on that flight and watching that happen. Hey, and speaking of aviation, an incident over the weekend provides a lesson for passengers who ignore the flight crew's instructions before takeoff.
This is exactly why flight attendants want us to pay attention when they explain the emergency slides. Passengers had to use them when smoke filled American Airlines Flight 3023, which had to abort takeoff from Denver over the weekend. There was a thud. The plane shuddered, leading passenger Mark Serkis to state, "That's not good." Out the chutes they went. Some passengers tripped at the end and tumbled onto the concrete runway, including someone carrying a small child. One person was injured. Wayne Cabot, ABC News.
That's not good.
No.
But it's serious. I know it's so hard to not grab your bags.
Right.
But you have to not grab your bags. You have to leave your bags because it's twofold. One, you want to get out, have everybody get off that plane as quickly as possible when there's an emergency like this, when you've got smoke filling up the plane. Everybody's got to get out quickly. And then two, if you're going down that slide, the emergency slide, if you're bringing your suitcase with you, you don't know, that's falling down, that's hitting you, that's just injuries galore. So just a reminder.
Yeah.
Hopefully you never have an emergency,
Right.
but if you do,
Let's hope not.
Leave your bags and get off the plane. It is 2:56. Thanks so much for joining us on Wisconsin's Midday News. We hope you have a fabulous afternoon, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow. Wisconsin's Afternoon News is coming up next.
Hey, boaters! We have the go-to marine store, and it's not just because